Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the heart of Texas and the very wonderful AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Dallas Cowboys. Brett Maher has this one teed up, and we are underway here at AT&T Stadium. And this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24.
Gun. Cut.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he'll get this up just shy of the 30.
Nice chunky yards on first down. It really opens up your options for what you want to do on second. You go right back to him and hope he explodes, or sucker the defense in before throwing over the top.
Here we go.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. On the delay, it's Mixon. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It goes as a loss of 6. And now 3rd down.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
On 3rd down, Burrow. And that is incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
On 4th down, Drew Chrisman on the punt. It's a 40-yard punt, but they lose yardage on the return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 26. They start on the ground with Elliott. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
That felt like a trap because it looked to me like the opposing front was on that play from the get-go. They had everyone crashing the ball carrier before he even made the line, and they hold him to just a yard.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Prescott. This pass complete to Pollard on the out route. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And now 3rd down and 6 to go. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. On 3rd down, it's Prescott. Got an open man. It's Michael Gallup. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Give him 18 on that one, and it's a Dallas 1st down.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice 1st down. Drive keeps moving.
Meanwhile, Dak's throw pulled in by Lamb. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 right at the 40. They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete.
I love those corners who can not only cover, but don't mind getting a little physical as well. How about the coverage on that play, knocking that pass away?
On 2nd down, Elliott. And some room to work. And a very determined run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 27. Good effort. 13 yards and a 1st down, Cowboys.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league, had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down. Otherwise, it's going to be a long afternoon.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
It certainly looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
They haven't been able to stop them so far this series, but getting a nice little stand from their defense now.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Throwing, Prescott. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
Now Prescott on 4th down. That is caught at the 7. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. Here's Prescott. Caught on the slant. That'll bring up 2nd and goal after the gain of 5. They'll try to run it in with Elliott. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott punching it in from a yard away. And the Cowboys will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Extra point by Moore, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0.
But I couldn't look back. I used to laugh cause a nigga was fat. Now I'm having my way and these bitch niggas broken they rap. No capping in none of my raps. He thought he was up on the board till I showed him the stats. Niggas hurting from coming through racks. I feel like a young Deion Sanders threw one on my back. But it's still 23 on my strap. I had dreams of balling on fields and that shit writing rap. Trying to put my whole team on the map. We already known in the streets and that's really the fact. Fully auto ARs attached. So ain't no pump fake in the street or you playing that stage. You be quick to get fuck niggas wet. But I swear from the shoulders I'm colder. Yeah, I'm really that. Get him down, hit his bitch from the back. Then flip the whole over and make her start over from scratch. 600 the block where I'm at. I think I was 7 years old. My bitch said the rap. But he can't get that shit in the trap. I ain't that shit funny how I double back. But it was it. Hey, prime time hits. Hey, who the fuck would've thought I would mix? Bought out these diamonds just so I could fix. When I open my mouth, it up pussy get big. These diamonds surprising like Russian roulette. Might just go by them, I compete in the bitch. I can't go with my pole, I put this on the set. If I do and I live, I'ma spin with it, yeah. Hey, prime time hits. Hey, who the fuck would've thought I would mix? Bought out these diamonds just so I could fix. When I open my mouth, it up pussy get big. These diamonds surprising like Russian roulette. Might just go by them, I compete in the bitch. I can't go with my pole, I put this on the set. If I do and I live, I'ma spin with it, yeah. I ain't on the pick, but I run that bitch back. I ain't want all this shit, but you see where we at. I in the club, best believe that we strapped. If a pussy boy played him, he lay in his pocket. Get that. See, this shit really made out of scraps. We put it together, however, now you understand. Remember locks taking down on the tracks. Just knew I was going to bucket and flip to the bell. See, this rapper, she came on the left. I guess this was like how I moved the words on my mouth. Screaming free rock and cute to that guy. Niggas pussy, they wish they could live without me. Ask them niggas that solid, I bet they'll bet. I had really so hard, I ain't open my mouth. Getting free from the country, just throwing the south. Other border, your order come in and it's out. Take some lessons, I teach you little boys how to trap. I just started this shit in my face on the left. We been running through packs, steady running up left. If you got BOA, come and get your shit down. Hey,
Key that A-gap usually.
get your shit down. Let's go. Hey, my top hits. Hey, who the fuck would've thought I would mix?
And a very determined run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 27. Good effort. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out. picking up some of the slack? Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Might just go by them, I put feet in the bitch. Go with my pole, I put keys on the shit. If I do and I live, I'ma spin with that, yeah. Hey.
Mixon with a first down carry. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
8 yards the tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. Again, it's Mixon.
It's going hungry and stepping on business. I took too fresh to get it. I'm so lost, but I'm not so invisible. Ain't been a church in a minute. Don't trip around, but ain't none of the pockets. You need to be careful and get it. Tossing on right to the step to the center. But it's just stopping on limit. It's going hungry and stepping on business. I took too fresh to get it. I'm so lost, but I'm not so invisible. Ain't been a church in a minute. Don't trip around, but ain't none of the pockets. You need to be careful and get it. Tossing on right to the step to the center. But it's just stopping on limit. Keep me around, how you go, don't need it in blood. You was telling me nothing. You show up on the sun. You need that. You get the acting so fun. That's all that I know I can do. I'm taking on with the years now. I ride around with no bone, no kids. I'm in the place to take you to the king. Just see straight, I'm free. About it, cause I'm in it.
Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Nice job there.
Everybody be hitting my phone on me, running trusting. So I decided to paying that phone bill. Why would I wanna be there? Then I'm busy doing it. Don't make no sense. I gotta go through down my eyes. And I'm crossing on my teeth. It's so far, stripping out the purpose. Too bad now, I'm back and stuck on me. Now they're playing catching. Big dreams laying in the mattress. It's going hungry, stepping on business. I took too fast to get it. I'm so lost, but I'm not so invisible. Ain't been a church in a minute. Don't strip around, but ain't none of that. You need to be careful and spirit. Chopping on rice and step to the gym. But it's just stopping on limit. It's going hungry, stepping on business. I took too fast to get it. I'm so lost, but I'm not so invisible. Ain't been a church in a minute. Don't strip around, but ain't none of that. You need to be careful and spirit. Chopping on rice and step to the gym. But it's just stopping on limit.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. They'll take over after that pretty clutch forced fumble as they begin inside their own 5-yard line. And a nice job to break free of one tackle, but slows one down, so he's taken down right after. 2nd and 5 now. Prescott.
Oh my God. Do that shit again.
Telling them say about the pussy to the back. I'm telling you, you can do it for the good cat. You wanna see her do it, she gon' do it for the rest. I didn't get to do it, something out of nothing. I didn't have a little bit, I can take it, pull up on it. So you really think that we can get on some free to what you want. I'm trying to get them down, watch smoke down. I'm pretty sure now, she was putting another something. I try to cool them down, take the bottom level from them. Whole lot of comments. These little niggas talking, I know I was gone. I'm a big boss, they can keep a nigga on them. People from the wild, I'm a nigga with a comment. You ain't like a poach, we ain't got a hoe. I don't keep scope, tell me what you quote. If you send an app, we'll cut out smoke. If you take a test, they just try to get a vote. I'm ready to know. I'm gonna summer day and now this is blood. I know they own a couple shooters, so I'm ready to go. I keep these shit 100 for my dog.
from a few yards shy. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line.
I'm a dog, not a strap. She thinks so hard, she don't need a leg brush. It's $1 million race. I got money in the bank. I can cash it all the time. His baby brother knew that to get you back. President's brother, I'm talking about gang. I was told what was wrong with the prize. Doing donuts in the issue, these man. Gotta keep it clear, I think I'm winning. I be watching the pictures of the train. Get this shit 100, you can go on this time. Get to the money, get to the
That's a touchdown.
She's sitting down, big car out. Big take 10, then try to get them up. Already, looking at the summer day and now let you go. I know that old coming, she was already wrong. I keep this shit 100, put my dog in them.
They'll give it to Mixon. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. That's going to go as a loss of a full 8 yards. And it sets them back for second down.
You want to talk about the proverbial deer in the headlights? That's exactly what he was when he got the ball. Went to hit a lane and get upfield.
Be your best you, or just be. Always here to help.
On second down, here's Mixon. And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pick up a 3. Cowboys going to use their second timeout now. As the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. 2 straight shots on the ground, now on 3rd. Do you go in the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going to play action since you ran it twice. I often think the second down is a time you got to action third. I say commit to the run and think about it being pulling out territory.
Now the defense will work their 3rd and 4th timeout.
You gotta get nasty.
Time on the rise, and there's another timeout.
You gotta get nasty. You gotta get nasty. Look, one time for the pretty ones. Them boys gotta give me one. Bad boy like Diddy, son. My boy, I'm cool, they can't see. Touch like it and leave. Let's go. I ain't the one to be slept, though. Brother working on the trap phone. Let's go. I'm a brain on race phone. I got something you can dance.
If you don't press me, I'm scoring.
You gotta get nasty.
Better press up.
And they may be content to take this 7-0 lead into the locker room.
Gotta get nasty. Gotta get nasty, huh? Let's go.
And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep the defense honest with a guy with that type of skill.
Checking that to a fact. Sure you look all right. You're shocking up taxi. You look like a fatty. Baby girl, you got the fatty. You look like I call it fatty. God, you get dance now. What around time I'm a man now. Gotta get you my chance, I'm man down. Just niggas should get on my pants now. I get a whole lot of money. Gotta get up and get it. I got a 40 on me, I can check it. She throw the move me, then I'm here. Then I'm here.
Sometimes you panic as well as think I've got to be there right
Gotta
now.
get nasty, huh? Gotta get nasty, huh? Talk to him. You gotta get nasty, huh? You gotta get nasty, huh? Yeah, one time for the pretty ones. Them boys gotta give me one. Bad boy like Diddy, son. My fragrance Louis V. I'm who they can't see. Touch like NLE. Let's go. Ain't got time to speak about the free. You can have M.O.P. Heard I got a man, make them mad. The belly free. Fill up in it. Go cash. See at my face. Get what? I turn to a rich look. Oh, let's race. Get what? Them little horses make me faster. Let me taste. Ooh, that look. Got some sound. Some pretty face. Ooh, gotta get it on camera. Yeah. Gotta get nasty, huh? Gotta get nasty, huh? Let's see. You gotta get nasty, huh? You gotta get nasty, huh? Look, one time for the pretty. One time, them boys gotta get you one time. Bad boy like this, son. I'm fragrance Louis V. I'm who they can't see. This touch fit like NLE. Let's go.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
Here's second and 10 now from about the 32. Now it's Burrow. He's got his big tail. That's Hurst. Now
Marvel director.
Hey, watch him out to save your life. I know niggas that ain't for talk. Draco Williams, we got 30 shots in the big walk. Fuck your gun, you gotta shoot that bitch. He was strapped when we caught him. Fuck your gun, put switch under your arm, bitch. We sliding with sauce. Fix time with rack to the lobby. Block here and beat up the cage. I'm on the block with a father. Them hollow lead up the chain. They ready to fuck up a trade. They be quit with a coda and fed. Pussy two stuff with them traces.
Oh yeah, I need it. I'll dig, baby.
I got it with my AR, you see how I'm walking. Ain't no reaching for these Cuban boy, that shit like it's gon' cost her. I'm doing this beat like Jason Tate, think I'm playing football. 30 got a micro video, I walk in with a 40. He thought that was on the purchase, he just popped him with Molly. Blew out with the bag to catch the shit, you can't tell on nobody. Right don't care with the big body, he come straight out the back. Why I turn my collar to a lake, but I ain't put my body down. He can punch off in the hood just to get some new tryers. They gon' do everything they gotta do just to get them a body. They gon' do whatever that it take just to catch them a murder. Chopper gang, Fox 13 gang, yeah, I know that you heard us. Book me for a show, you gotta know that it's shots in suburban. Watch how you booking in traffic, beat Draco, stop you from swerving. Let my Glock pop if I'm nervous. Hook this bitch and I get off. Come through my trap and I'm served. Toss out that hard in this ball. Trust the bitches in my hood, so don't fuck with those in the law. And I feel for hate every day. I got you proactive, I know. Gotta have a pistol on me daily to roll with this out. I might put some cheaters on the chop, turn my gun to a fire. My little nigga chillin' out on fun, he got tried for a murder. I just put some green up in the drink, I just mixed it with fun. Just take the chopper to the door every time that he serve. All that nigga know is sell, don't kill, murder, murder. All these niggas pussy in the bitch, all of these niggas first. If I put one more deuce in it pop, I'ma turn to a turd. Hey, and I know that for certain. And I know that for certain.
Now it's a bootleg with Prescott.
And I know that for certain. If I put one more deuce in it pop, I'ma turn to a turd.
That's Ferguson. And he gets this out to the 34 out of bounds there. And that's good for a gain of 6.
In the next 10 seconds, I'm going to show you how you can qualify and play anywhere from 400 to...
Looking to throw again on second down. Prescott. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field.
ATW out of the way. Real niggas don't play. Streets leading just stay a nigga back. Best believe I got that set. Real niggas spin back. Streets are not just to see a nigga back. Yes, it's 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 back. The streets feeling just to see a nigga back.
Love it or leave it, yeah, I'm back, bitch. Club shit is OG, we cook crack, bitch. I'm a nigga from the sewer. Different bitch for Lua. Slap that homie with the Ruger, cause he act like he a shooter. Took a bunch of risks, though. How about you and your kids, though? Nigga been still from the kick-off. Fucked up nigga did a kick, though. Oh, my nigga, I'm good at two things. Bitch on a nigga in new thing. Kick big shit, bitch, you can't. Put up on the motherfucking shit thing. Stayed and let a king out. Lock this ripping king, my head. Brand new team on me, yo, gotta rock the arena. Hey, bitch, don't call me Bobo. Blood filled with cocoa. Breaking up like that, go got it, but don't do shit.
ATW out the way. Real niggas don't play. Streets spinning just to see a nigga back. Best believe I got that set. Real niggas spin facts. Streets are not just to see a nigga back.
It's crazy how you put the safety over top, bro, but the safety ain't never over top. Like, what was you doing in the middle of the field, bro?
Smoking on some runs with the Christmas. One eye open, sitting low like a bush whip. Bullshit, I don't really tend to let it bother me. Hustle like I'm broke, so that hunger stay a part of me. Silent to my arteries, the street is in my bloodstream.
You think you coming back, nigga?
Answers that the mud clean. Me, I'm with the flood team, ain't shit to fill the city up. Tell them ask for bigs and you ain't gotta hit no diddy up. Bitch, I'm getting money in the city, yes sir. Texas nigga dreams when it's rim over the curve. You heard?
ACW all the way. Real niggas don't play. Streets speeding just to see a nigga back. Best believe I got that set. Real niggas spin facts. Streets and all just to see a nigga back. Guess who's back? 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 The streets speeding just to see a nigga back.
Check it since y'all heard me on the record. No tight easy, still stepping to be breathing. It's a blessed facts. Amongst the legends, still putting it down. Cause it's a bunch of legends put in the ground. So shit, I smoke one to get my eyes tight. Reminiscing about the live nights. Pulling up at the wreck shop or the cornbreads with a purple Sprite. It's only right I'm looking with the team. They still squeeze when they see our faces on the scene. We ain't got them down, smoking on dope. No smoke, going up folk. Keep me long, booking them shows. We hitting the road, still all about dope. Got $1 million call today. Direct the you ready to go all the way, all the way.
ACW all the way. Real niggas don't play. Streets speeding just to see a nigga back. Best believe I got that set. Real niggas spin facts. Streets and all just to see a nigga back. Guess who's back? 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 Streets speeding just to see a nigga back.
But he did a great job with it there.
Really good balance, really good body control, and how about the end result? A touchdown.
And a fair catch signal forward and taken successfully.
This shit right here, though.
It's so funky.
I don't know. Mama, I better get money on flex. What's next for a nigga? I ain't getting to the nigga. I ain't getting to the motherfucking got mama out the hood. We play, don't fly first class. Yeah, ain't worried about the he say. She say got shit on the lot. Streets on fire. Yeah, these niggas get right and they driving me crazy. Can't go me baby. Can't rock on my tongue unless you run out my bed. I'm around your day one. You play, fuck me back then. Too late. I got your mind. You play, spin that block. Just putting on the flex up. I don't put my nigga up. Wanna be rich and good. Now I better don't lit up. These diamonds on my nigga with up. All these niggas be lying down better. Get you some minutes, get some cheddar. Better take it up and let them. First time I met her, mama was a damn fun. Pussy so wet it remind me of stand-up. Baby too freaky, she told me to slam. Couldn't be nobody else like cancer. It look like this. Smell like shit. Three niggas with some money with a hell of a twist. Ain't never seen niggas. Don't like mama, I better get money on flip. What's next for a nigga? I ain't get to the nigga. I ain't get to the motherfucking tree. Got mama out the hood. We pay, don't fly first class. Yeah, ain't worried about the he say. She said got shit on the lot. Streets on fire. Chillin'. These niggas get right and they driving me crazy. Can't go with me, baby. Can't rock over tongues like you want. I'm busy around your day one. You play, fuck me back in. It's too late. You play, spin that block.
Look, I was the one in that red drop. Cause I put the game in the headlock. Don't reach for my jury, you bet not. You damn dummy, I'm red fox. My steppers, they moving, I know. Like Jay Chris, I move with a mob. And I heard him say, long hair don't care, but this Draco will give you a ball. Leonard, I had it in school, it's in my garage, right next to my booty. My dick is my screw, and he ripping. I choose when you king like me, they be stretching the rules. I got the day on speed dial. I lose sweater and free trial. I keep my motor 10 for 3 miles. Like Warren G, I'm a team child. Exotic Pop gave me a bag. I fish in the back of my bag. In the dirty third, where we from? I just killed the rodeo with fun. Me and X, always in flex mode. And he ripping no beat in check mode. On my bad team, trying to make my neck glow. I say get into the green, I'ma get go.
Mama, I better get money on flex. What's next for a nigga? I ain't getting to the. Let's go for a nigga. I ain't getting to the motherfucking chick. Got mama out the hood. We play, don't fly first class. Yeah, ain't worried about it. He say, she say, got shit on lock. Streets on fire. Chillin'. These niggas get right and they driving me crazy. Can't go with me, baby. Can't rock over tongues like you want. I'm busy around your day one. You say, fuck me back then. It's too late. Hurry out your mind. You play, spin that block.
Getting that type of game, considering the wins that they just had against us.
They go play action to Burrow. Escape. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down.
Hey, Ken. I think we got to show these niggas that you ain't no motherfucking one-hit wonder. You got your motherfucking business. And these niggas out here, problem. T-Cash, DJ 007. I don't play 1.5.
Yellow balls, just pulled up in a Hummer. I told him pop the trunk. They say take this round the corner. Got the spot jumping, spot doing numbers. Got my phone jumping, hope we make it to the summer. I'm about to light my plumber. I heard on the comer, hopping out the two-seater. I just did a donut, make my money come. Neighborhood of junk, I've been getting money. Got my phone jumping, they think I won the lottery. Keep a baby five, blow a couple dollars, get it back tomorrow. This right here top, phantom of the top. Ain't seen nobody home, they don't want no problem. Swag with the kilo, I do on my Evo. I'm blowing up my T4, hit the corner, jam the zero. I'm just to make the profit, got that David Beckham, and it turn to shocky. I grew up with no options, looking like a dealer, leaving out the niggas. Wake me up on dreaming, see so many dead people. Benjamin in Texas, Cadillac relaxing, being on mathematics, I'm adding up the checks. I'm about to light my plunder, I heard on the couple, hopping out the two-seater. I just did a donut, make my money come. Neighborhood of junk, I've been getting money. Got the phone jumping, they think I won the lottery. Keep the baby pop, blow a couple dollars, get it back tomorrow. This the real chop, phantom of the top. Ain't seen nobody hot, they don't want no problem. That's when you can see me in it, good about a penny, pounds. We got plenty, bitch, I'm dreaming about the penny, DJ play my fingers, stacking up my fingers. 501's no interest, like a super middle finger. Decent Nike trenches, Dallas hockey bleeding, niggas paralyzed, from my T-Cash, I feed on point like a needle, rolling up that lethal, strapped up, drop Peter, on the knees like T-Bo, I'm about to light my plunder, I heard on the summer, hopping out the two-seater, I just did a donut, make my money come, neighborhood of junk, I've been getting money, got me fun.
Oh my God, bro. I would head over with that nigga, man. They made me go the other way. Watch the replay. You ain't did nothing, boy. You can't be cheap.
Free my niggas locked down, they giving niggas shots time. Hey, make the trip to Europe, then I hit the fatal. I get too much, I say so, but I'm grinding every day. They the Flacos on the payroll. I shoot what you lay low, scratching for the peso, stacking up my peso. I'm about to light my plunder, I heard on the plumber, hopping out the two-seater. I just did a donut, make my money come. Neighborhood of junk, I've been getting money. Got the phone jumping, they think I won the lottery. Keep a baby five, blow a couple dollars, get it back tomorrow. This right here top, phantom of the top. Ain't seen nobody hot, they don't want no problem. Automatic start, watch me slap crank, fire on my blood, and my chest stank, metal to the metal, edge to the mud, on my left, I am not a gun, black gang song, on the grind mode, total nigga, bankroll, out of town car, on me, X, why that, cause I know that nigga coming back, yeah, heard the money talk.
To me, it just comes down to who can execute and which side can step up and assert its
and I'm getting strong, I be working out, looking at my brother like he turned me out. Hey, last time I fucking through the quarter million, niggas put up down, got the quarter million, niggas 100 for the quarter million, yeah, 30 minutes dope, holding on that nigga, here's the money
down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. Not terrible for you, but it's looking good as they come up first and 10.
I was doing bad. I was on my ass like a diaper rat.
They'll try and run some
Being
clock
self-said, what you doing? I'm getting to it.
And now right out of the 2
Then my phone started blowing
time to use defensively with a minute 56 to go.
That's what you want. Straight
I'm a
positive game. Just keep that clock ticking.
So second and 9, and you have to figure just about
on the
all
out
of it probably crashing their
of
way here.
town car. I don't even care. Why is that? Cause I know that nigga coming back. Yeah, with a funny car. I don't get love. Drop them off. I don't get love. Man, don't get strong. Work it out. Looking at my brother like a tiny guy. Hey, last time I must have seen a quarter meal. PA bust down, got some quarter deals. You get 100 for the quarter piece. Yeah, serving at the dope, holding on that each. It's a full-time job. Stay alive. I look at the first leaning to the side. And I be fucking with the all I know is I'm a touchdown lead. I need a flavor, not a free. $9 for the boat,
Extra point by Moore, and good. And the lead to 52.
My money long on the two. Why is that?
Following the touchdown, here's Moore to kick it away.
Where the money car? I be picking love, drop them off.
This will be ball
Picking love, and I'm feeling strong.
He's able to get this across the 20, but no bad punches. He's right down the shot at the 21.
Last time I must have seen a quarter meal. PA bust down, got some quarter deals. You get 100 for the quarter piece. Yeah. So you
Bengals trying to get going. Complete to Boyd. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock
YouTube
him
Music
down.
is a music app for you to uncover unearned tracks, even from the wonderful artists you thought you knew. Did YouTube?
Cool with the guy. LA in the hills and I pack them on my bill.
Second and
10. On my nigga eye. Diamonds on my nigga eye. I'm a hard beater in the block. I just live the bank with the guy. Say call me as an ice. Keeping on these niggas like some ice. Keeping on these niggas like some ice. Bitch, you wipe me down with a bench. Can I rather take it like a fish? Real long money like a real fish. I catch a body like a shark. Don't never let a nigga put his hands on me. He trying to dance on me. I got bad on me.
I'm never like pussy. I ain't mad pussy niggas don't kill me. Little ass boy, he a bitch. Play with me, won't get a broke teeth. I'm a simp on a nigga, I ain't gon' lie, I'm just stuck in my ways. I ain't gon' lie, this ain't all in my face. I ain't gon' lie, this shit gon' give me pain. Sippin' those purples, rap, ayy. City to city, get at you, ayy. I'm in the snap, ayy. They know I'm sharp as a cat, ayy. We gon' battle on the chicken like a gun now. These out of middle school, got the one time. Know a lot of niggas die like a play now. Oh, get the little man in his play now.
I feel like $500,000. I'm in the color of $500,000. School shirt, I got that bomb shirt. I ain't made it from the bottom, but it's still going on. I got two cold DJ, smoke a real game. Nigga, this $100 blunt. Some pop off in the front. House bubble, we got anything you want. It's time to get your hands out and slide. Front line, cool with the guys. I'm not in the bills and I take them on the bill. Bitch, you ask for this real phone calls that we drive. I'm in there, get tired. It's push all day. I'm going for a dive. Starting on my home, I'm a bitch, I'm in the seat. That ain't better than that nigga when they run out of time. You trying to dance on me? I got bands on me.
Rap, ayy. City to city, get at you, ayy.
extra point ball.
Dance on me.
So we will start here at the 25. The Bengals drive about to get going. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but a self-inflicted wounds. They've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
Because you got to see that film and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not go into the future. And mentally, I think a lot of these guys are going to start thinking about how to fall into their mindset and get back to the next time down. This is the motivation for winning.
Now the Bengals going to signal for a 3rd and final timeout. As they'll stop with 27 seconds showing on the clock. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard to run the ball because you're not getting the benefits of that play as you tackle alongside the slot. That means after the next play is utterly
They got the funny me. That's it, security. Take my time to the party me. Party, cha-cha. Small wings that the bum top flex. Baby jam. What is your top name? I ain't gonna make us problem. Don't say I believe it's so fair. You can give a money check. There's a baby that you check me. Come my day. You say you get a natural day.
Drive, bro. Enjoy your day.
I gotta get there. I'm talking about I gotta get there. Come on, man, for real. I already told him I'm on my way. You bullshit. Yeah, these niggas been in the way, get the fuck off. I'm pulling up 30 racks on my cup hole. And I got some more on my arm wrist. Count so much money, I'm like, where's some more arms at? On the way to it, I gotta go get it. I ain't got no service out here with a phone set. Bitch, if I'm calling, she want me to come on and beat it up. She begging me to come harm me. I'm in the wrist of the grind like I'm Tarzan. Damn, I was broke, but I ain't going back to that. I ran this shit up in the wrist, what's the odds, man? No niggas hate, so I'm ride with these cars, man. 250 racks in, I'm like, niggas get mad at me, but if you rich and not smart, man. You in the wrist to the hospital playing with me. Now go to the chill with God, man. Fuck these little niggas, get back to the money. Let's talk about
You think you finna do something with them sorry ass Packers? You quiet already.
Wait on no chick, I go give me a roll full of paper, no charm. I don't got time to explain to you, bitch, why I put it, I deep my head with all that arguing. You know what's so what you want, you a broke boy. Nigga, I ain't even gonna lie, I know you, but I love my money, keep you in me.
You ain't got the rest on the game now. You know that's the only way y'all beat the Cowboys is when y'all got the rest. Dez caught it.
Hey, I ain't even gonna lie, these niggas will die. Let's get this shit done, bro. I'm getting a rush. They wasn't gonna cost me to speed it up. Shit, if it come down to it, I'm speeding up, running all around, whole lot of everything. Who the fuck are these niggas just trying to compete with us? All of my brothers like blood, they in the club, and if I call them, they pulling up in a rush.
Big play to start him out. Has him at the 45-yard line. Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. Can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Neville Gallimore powering his way in and burying him.
Tremendous read and reaction by the defensive tackle, and frankly,
Seeking better sleep? Always here to help.
easy access back to the quarterback. Never block the play action fake.
A bear did cocaine.
In his tracks behind area code flooding out. They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up.
Oftentimes when you see a running back get bunched up in the backfield, it's usually because the defensive tackles even blockers for others to make the play. Not in this case.
By the corner store, that's the first one, and then that third eye. I just wanna buy things I never bought. That new car garage. Oh shit, never wonder when you steady leaning. Catch me wearing with my face, they want a 6 feet. On her, I catch out with them racks out on some D&G. 300 black out in the track, I got you steady speeding. Top out flipping remix, search spot I need it. Day and night, no I don't care about this like I'm leaving. Diamonds bright as diamonds, shining, see it, hit a need me. Walking right, you know I'm wild, now we let me see it. I can never leave my brother, that's just on some G shit. Ain't been the sixes, bitch, but Pablo left us on defense. Yeah, she my main, but I don't trust her and I really mean it. He in the ring with no umbrella, he just wanna be. All of my gun in the glass, yeah, but thought I might make this shit happen. Got some niggas that's feeling just lots of prison, steady be trapping. And I'm screaming for reminiscing, you niggas be dissing, we hopping and trapping. Every day on a mission to run up a million, we rapping the first up the plastic. I keep it wide in the building, cause I know they envy and really want static. I made a decision to get up and get it, I know that I cannot go backwards. One call and I'm making you bad. My dog, yeah, that really my best. Lunch all I want there with the baddest. One call, I don't want to go ride the mine, I promise. But it all can't be this way. Just being honest, never thought that things would be this way. Why would I run it? Catch up, we gon' bleed this game. So you have a couple when you pull up, you gon' see his face. Oh shit, never wonder when you steady leaning. Catch me wearing with my plate, they want a 6 feet. Oh, I catch out with the racks out on some D&G.
Oh my God, that's a pig, bro. That's a pig 6, bro.
Yeah, she my name, but I don't trust her and I really need it. He in the ring, I know I'm brother, he just wanna be real. Don't wanna happy, I was born back in my man and shawty saying she the fattest, man, the best, she look fantastic. New devil lucky, red the plastic, I think I might go make back. That's just to show that I ain't that. One thing for sure, I'm still blue flag. He keep a poker, he ain't savage, turn around and look what happens. To the cold is automatic, kicking doors like with a ratchet. Double load of dashboard jack, you must have never checked my jack. Straight up and blow another gas. Jumped off the porch and got a laugh. So much codeine in my blood, before like Kobe, that's a drag. Blue X got roadie, that don't matter. We kick it low key, not the gas. My older told me just no check. I get my trophy on the drive. I'm on the road, you know we next. Y'all niggas on me picking squares up. Oh shit, never wonder when he steady leaning. Catch me where I want my plate, they want a 6 feet. On her, I guess I with the racks, I know some D&G. 300 black out in the track, I got me steady speeding. Top out whipping remix, 30 spot I need it. Day and night, no, I don't care about this life I'm leaving. Diamonds bright as diamonds, shining, see it, he a need. Walking right, you know, why now, well, let me see it. I can never leave my brother, that just on some G shit. Ain't been the same since been for Pablo, left us all on defense. Yeah, she my main, but I don't trust her, and I really mean it. He in the ring with no brother, he just wanna be rich.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game. It has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try to put that in the first down.
Prescott on play
This guy cheat like a motherfucker, man. You can have that shit.
Still in the first quarter, but not a great start for them. I mean, they controlled the airways, Charles, on both sides. They had the passing touchdown.
You think you doing something, nigga?
Bringing back life when I'm wasted. Bringing back life when I'm wasted. You brought it up, shining like a backwood. Need another one to burn and I'm all good. Just bring me back life when I'm wasted. Just bring me back life when I'm wasted. Just bring me back life when I'm wasted. Notice you never got it right on the line. Masking the pain will never mean why. I'm sad and happy at the same damn time. I think I found my new best friend. Just a woman count of keys staring at me. I blew away the bullets and I gave it a wing. Life is so much sweeter, sweet tasted. Bring me back to life when I'm wasted. Trying to overdo things. Eat up, tell, got me dreaming. Bringing back life when I'm wasted. Bringing back life when I'm wasted. Ready up, tell, trying to overdo things. Eat up, tell, got me dreaming. Bringing back life when I'm wasted. Bringing back life when I'm wasted. Roll down and roll. Half alive, half dead and gone. I'm seeing things up late on the phone, talking to people that ain't even there. Alcohol dedicated, so exciting now, baby. Can't find the kid that I've been chasing. Bringing back life when I'm wasted.
Fuck out me, nigga. Meet me in the house, nigga. Got your weak ass ran off.
Extra point by Moore, up and good. And that'll make our score 14-7.
Looking for your libido? Always here to help.
Following the touchdown, here's Moore to kick it away.
Are you ready for Truck Month?
Head straight to Planet Ford and Garland.
Planet Ford 635.
This will be a touch matchless at
6. I feel like you only here when you need to. I can't sweat it when you stepping like they're see-throughs. Just so you I'm on your ass like you Jesus. But even jeans couldn't know you like I need to. Skin tight so right, no see-through. You can let your fuzzy heart mislead you. Even cold like things still new to you. You make me wanna start a riot. Late night shots, drink driving. So how can I stop calling? You don't coming back up cause you talking. Had a conversation. Talking to her, talking, she called us. I called back, she ain't pick up. This shit is frustrating. Compliments, they all gas, she won't really have all gas. Put on the filler at the gas station. Propane, she blowing up and telling me I ain't blowing up. But she acting stupid, I'm running out of patience. I'm trying to stay friends, just to put in this speech. I'm sorry that that's what I need you. I feel like you only here when you need to. I guess we don't ain't stepping like you see through. You told me I'm on your ass like you need to. You can chase me, love me like I need to. Skin tight so red and you see through. You can let your friends and all mislead you. You can cold-blooded things to need to.
They fake the give. Now Rodgers.
I guess we don't ain't stepping like you see through. You told me still be stuck at midfield. You can chase me, love me like I need to. Skin tight so red and you see through. You can let your friends and all mislead you. You can cold-blooded things to need to.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Now it's Rodgers. They're going for a zone, but this is intercepted. Picked off by Trayvon Diggs. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Cowboy defense has a touchdown. Marr on for the extra point. And we've got a good one brewing. Not it up at 14. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And they're going to get a chance to return this one as he's 30 years set to get this
White's on no sweaty. I'm flying yesterday, got to my leg. Feels like shooting out first, no love in his heart. He had a shootout with his cousin. Can't be good for some more drugs. Fucking ideas, no time to be cuddling. One game playing on the bottom of the bus. All you know, resisting with them, I'm hustling. I ain't seen me in hugs, block. Standing on 10, no love for cops. I made the trap out, come out and rock out. Taking my top, 10 minutes drop.
Drop fold, no tree straight roll. Iced out on fold, got me tripping off 4 fold. Back drop fold, no tree straight roll. Iced out on fold, got me tripping off 4 fold.
Lay back cooking, I'm chilling in lean. Your favorite hoe with me, she know you seen me. Backside, black ass circle with me. That money I chase it, I need you on fiending. I pass the rock around, I get the team in. Shit for life, for the joint gotta bleed in. I seen green and I put my feet in. Back then, we for shit I couldn't see then. Got me tripping on 4 fold. This is 4 fold, so no. It ain't the hood that I cannot go to. 762 half a pound like Goku. Damn, not one of them make me show you. Talking too much, running down like a hoe do. I got a bitch, but I still want your boo. Me solo, more money than your crew.
Kick back, drop fold, no tree straight roll. Iced out on fold, got me tripping off 4 fold. Kick back, drop fold, no tree straight roll. Iced out on fold, got me tripping off 4 fold.
First quarter they struggled, but now here in quarter 2 they seem to have some rhythm. They're looking for a layup, it's intercepted. Russell Douglas takes
I was out working the spot, looking control. When I get old, soon they gon' talk about watching the film. So I leave or kick me walking out the house.
Packers are able to strike quickly to get on to their lead. Extra point for Bill Crosby. The lead now up to 14. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away.
I be world with the ticket, then left the bank on, go let the ticket on. Scratch shit off my ticket. I'm trying to see what the buy next. First me a buying a project, next me a probably go blow it on hot tick. Why you be touching your pocket? I feel the poor nigga time. Then I had a book with a whole lot of time to buy. Still in the hood, can't go Hollywood for the guy that's not there, hard to find. And no, I feel you fuck your last. You won't go get it, who else gon' buy it? That nigga too soft. I mean, look up, watching the stick while they drop. Bro, please say the boy about to finish. 5-10, but ain't no home guard. They mean still walking in and left out drop 5. But I got a 40 feet, hold my bitches. Know it forever, paper over bitches. No disrespect to my whole out of mix. I don't be broke cooking up in the kitchen. He teaching me how to profit off the fish. I be worried over the ticket. Just left the bank on, go let the ticket on. Got shit off my ticket. I'm trying to see what the buy next. First meal buying a project, next meal probably go blow it on hot tick. Why you be touching your pocket? I feel the poor nigga
that hoe hot, get that bitch, you gon' sell some. Bro, gon' hop out to that dick on his chest. Get the dough for a wake up, trash and silver. Like with his face, like no like screw. Got a card in the clutch, still hairy. I'm on the list that I still like Batman. This put his Drake clean lip like Carman. Every day I just wake up and play ball. That's a nigga make the little bitch take off. He sippin' Quavo. Hit that in the strip club, better put on the front show. My plug need it right now. Right now, high for blue collar. Like this, so I don't hear this shit. Say I'm from the hood, it's foreign on this, but gas in the street, no.
I be worried over the ticket. Just left the bank on, go let the ticket on. Got shit off my ticket. I'm trying to see what the buy next. First meal buying a project, next meal probably go blow it on hot tick. Why you be touching your pocket? I feel the poor nigga time.
This is the zone with the catch out left. And past the 40, back in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line.
Yeah, I
Tip your
love
cap to
though.
DeMarcus
Duat,
Lawrence. Nice play defensively. So your
man. Shout out
task a
that
little
bitch.
bit
I
more
don't know my
difficult now.
dad.
Second
I
and
was like,
13 that they're walking up
bitch
on.
said, I was like, bet on that shit, man. When them bullets had came my way, I said, I bet you that ain't that. We pulled murder, that was after we turned red rum twine. I'm in the nigga that smack all the smackers, so I am the biggest double 5'5". I'm a hot boy from Booster College, yeah. I was in the track, you got one turn to raise your voice to hear me. I'm gonna get the scalp. I've been chasing that boy like a fly right the house, but eventually I get the clap. All I ever had was the crap, I ain't had me no dance, so I got on my DI jacket. I mean, shoot this, man. When I do it, consider it that. Like a shooter, bitch, come on. On point like that. I swap me a body for a swap. Put a bag right on the top. I got murder all in my eyes. You see it, it's torture in my heart. Be the pilot, speak for the dope. Pop first, I don't drink, I don't smoke. I'm a cheap pop, you don't know. I'm the people, the people, the show. I ain't low key, she is too. Need Cody with the boot. I know she cheating too. But I ain't gonna look no blue. I took fucked up cause I seen it was playing. Try to me out, but you know how to count. Told her ring up, but didn't know the amount. Expensive new favors I can't even pronounce. No gun policy, stick in the trunk. Hope nobody gets out of their body. Got himself hurt, he was full of that mind. We ain't even wanna have to kill nobody. Behind that ocean like that's in the third. Run a red hand, you can't crank up the jury.
Come on, bro. That's an interception.
They take all your jury. Them niggas, they didn't make killing the sport. They brazen. They'll take a switch.
This game be bullshit.
Telling the court, I hope y'all taking my leadership court. I mean, serious, man. When I do it, consider it that. But it's shit is going on point like nothing that. I swap in the back to a swap. Put a bag right on this top. I got murder all in my eyes. You see it, it's torture in my heart. Be the pilot, speak for the dope. Pop first on, drink on smoke. I'ma leave my beat on the hose. I'ma leave the beat the show. I ain't low key, she is too. They call it with the book. And I know she is too. But I ain't gonna look the book. And I got juice now on me. I'm from the doors, I pull three. And I got boots now on my feet. What did I do? Good, we should be about your rain, part of each way. I take the case now. I'm from my ring, she must be a rush. I brought this little beautiful bitch to the A. And I'm king tight, and I'm king tight. Yeah, I'm king tight. You ain't getting nothing. Miami nice, fucking in the club. Shaking with the dice, hit him with the blood. I made it well on me up. Niggas hating on me up. I did right up. I've been shooting this man. When I do it, consider it that. Oh, you shoot a bitch, on point like Donald that. I swap me a body for a swap. Put a bag right on his top. I got murder all in my eyes. You see it, it's torture in my heart. Be the pot like a speak for the dope. Pop first, I don't drink, I don't smoke. I'ma leave my beat on the road. I'ma leave a beat for show. I ain't low key, she is too. They call me with the book. And I know she is too. But I ain't gonna look through.
Trailing and looking for a little momentum. Yeah, you're right about that because, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. But to their credit, resulted in
Who you want me to throw it to? I'm going to throw it to him.
They're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
Wouldn't it be better if the weather was...
I ain't even going to throw the ball. I'm going to run the ball.
Three options. There's multiple gunners.
Two remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. On second down, LA. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage.
From the mud and you came from the south, you can have the so you bottom right now. If you keep it super tight, cause it will make them fuck up, you know you well. Walk on the flight on the way to Patel. Gotta keep some young niggas to move when I teach them my will. It's a blind, you can tell by the place. You wanna look kind of some programs in. He said the one, she took the water, she finished the easy. 18 minutes to listen, my brother, I'm fishing with that. I'm official with neighborhood cripple, she wanna shoot up with the TC. I want the coupe with the two C's. I'm a painted, I'll put you from LC. Dressy with caution and took over drop. I sit in the water while walking through water. The jet with a knife, we gon' fly. Drip the drip, I don't think I be feeling like down. I won't stop at the gun, gotta fall out. In the club, you can run, but you gotta be down. Cause I with bad vibes. The only time I with bad vibes.
See these nuts, nigga. See these nuts in your mouth.
making me bitch, cause I kept in the ball. I get up the joint like a boss. Solitary to ever forget the name. I'm getting paid for the drugs and age. And did a couple of criminal reloads. I get my money, you can't process it. Been the president, though, you mama. Y'all have been kicking my
20-yard line. 3 tight ends in the ball game here.
Shut your sorry ass up. You can't hold me, nigga. Fuck off me, nigga. Fuck off me, nigga. Yeah. Sorry. City.
Corporations, the money they make, they buy back their own stock. So,
Some things going on. We'll discuss it later. No big deal.
Yeah, you and me on the floor.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, we are headed to All-Star Weekend, but one would have thought that it was going to be an All-Star packed matchup last night when we saw the recording of the Celtics and the Bucks, but it wasn't Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart that faced off against the Bucks' big three. It was multiple starters that were out for the Celtics. So can I interest you in some Derek White?
Yes.
Some Malcolm Brogdon?
Crushing it.
Some Sam Hauser?
Hauser.
Like you did last night. We aren't even picturing Mike Muscala, who's been, that's my guy now. Drew Holiday, though, he was on fire. So this is the final seconds of the third quarter. I mean, that was a premonition, Richard, of what would be to come.
Yeah, no, look, the Bucks, it took every ounce of what they had to keep the streak alive. That's what it was more about. This win versus Boston was a big deal, but it was that streak that was impressive. And you see them fighting against an undermanned Boston team. This is purely a compliment to their depth, and I think people now have a much better understanding of it.
Well, and then the final seconds here in the fourth quarter. The Celtics.
Why did you win out?
Oh, my goodness.
Why did you win out? That's a tough shot.
Pretty good defense.
It's great defense. It's a tough shot, but also sometimes you're like, well, they don't have anybody that can hit that type of tough shot. But
Sam Hauser can hit that shot.
Sam Hauser can.
Overtime we go. This is the start of OT. Derek White driving. He gets that one to go. And then the next possession. What did I say? Derek, can I interest you in some Derek White? This is why, Richard.
Listen, man, when you have White on your side, anything is possible. It is possible for this man to crush things, but there we go.
There's that Holiday. Drew Holiday. He has 40 points, career high 8 threes for Holiday, including this one right here. Absolutely impressive for the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks go on to win this one 131-125. The final seconds here, just for good measure, making sure that they get the win. So I mentioned this was a first. It was a big night for both Giannis and Drew Holiday. You can see they combined to score 76 points. That's the most they've combined for in a game since Holiday joined the Bucks in 2020. So pretty impressive. They were clicking on all cylinders. Richard, first, please tell me what's going on the feet.
It's Casual Friday.
It's definitely Wednesday.
Oh, well, first of all, no, these are like the Gucci mullets, you know, business in the front, party in the back. I've never seen the Gucci.
You're welcome, Christy. That's what we're calling this.
Listen, man, Ray is on 1,000 right now.
I want to break down these more, but I do want to get your thoughts on the final game-winning three for Drew Holiday, so let's hear that up first.
Let's pop it up, and we're going to see, look, the ball movement of Milwaukee Bucks, not only talented, look, you got the ball in Giannis' hands, you know what he's trying to do. Great screen. You don't want to slip out of the screen. You want to set the screen. Give him a little bit of room. Now you got 2-on-1. The most underrated part of Giannis' game probably is still his passing. He is a willing passer. Ball moving. I love the relocation, though, by Drew Holiday. He went from the paint back out to the three, found the open spot. And when his teammates are looking for him, it is a special system that they run. Yeah, heck yeah. Like you out there. They're the Gucci mullet. They're coming back. Oh, boy. The mullet?
Are coming back.
Oh, Gucci mullet. No, I can't lie.
Matchup between the top two teams in the East is tonight on ESPN. We have the third-seeded Sixers, the fourth-seeded Cavaliers. Tim Bontemps here at the Wells Fargo Center. Take us inside the mindset of those two teams as we head towards the All-Star break?
For Philadelphia, Malika, for Joel Embiid in particular, it's about getting some time off. Now, he's questionable again tonight with left foot soreness. Same thing, he's been questionable on the injury report for the past several games over the past several weeks. Well, Embiid has kept playing through it, and I assume he's going to play tonight in this ESPN game against Jared Allen and the Cleveland Cavaliers. He is ready to get some time off and to rest that foot. He said multiple times that rest is the only thing that's going to help it. Something that's been a nagging thing for him, and he's obviously tied with Luka Doncic for the NBA's lead in the scoring race for a second straight year. He's going for MVP again. He's obviously playing at a very high level, but he could certainly use that break, and I know he's looking forward to getting that over the next several days, bunches it around being a city for the All-Star game. As for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Malika, I think this is an opportunity for them to show that this is not a three-team race atop the Eastern Conference. We talk about the Celtics, we talk about the Bucks, we obviously talk about the Sixers. The Cavs have the best net rating, though, in the NBA. Over the past 15 games, they're outscoring opponents by 9.9 points per 100 possessions, way ahead of teams like Milwaukee, Boston, Denver. They have been the best team in the league over that stretch. They come in here tonight and beat the Sixers on the road. I think it sends a message not only that they would tie Philly in the standings, but that you have to look at them, especially with Brooklyn losing Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, as a legitimate fourth team atop the conference that can expect to advance and win a series.
Yeah, not just a cute story that they're arriving ahead of schedule, but actually a team that needs to be reckoned with. Tim Bontemps, thank you so much. Enjoyed the game. You mentioned it, though. It certainly seems like heading into the All-Star break, in the East at least, it feels like it's a top four, and then it feels like there's everybody else. The Celtics, they now lead the Bucks by only a half game. That's after last night. And then the Sixers and Cavs, they are also within striking distance. But what are the biggest questions for these four teams with less than 25 games to go? Which is a little bit wild that we're already at that point in the season. Welcoming in ESPN senior writer Zach Lowe for this conversation. So Zach, I want to start with the fourth-seeded Cavaliers here. When you're looking at them, what is the biggest obstacle between them and getting out of the Eastern Conference?
Well, the biggest obstacles are the teams above them in the standings and how awesome they are. But if there's one question I have about the Cavs, it's can they score enough against the best defensive teams in the NBA? They have the best defense in the NBA. That's legit. That's not going anywhere. But they start two big men who are non-shooters and a third wing in Isaac Okoro, who is a shaky shooter and defense is ignoring him. But in the last month or so, they've started to answer that question. They're sneakily up to 10th in points per possession. And if they hang there, and if those two guards, Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, continue to do the spectacular, and Evan Mobley and Jared Allen develop and develop and develop, maybe this offense that looked like it might be kind of not ready for prime time in the playoffs, they're starting to look like they might be ready to push these guys harder than we thought. 10th, that's legit. Top 10 offense.
That's impressive. I'll take the Sixers. For me, when I look at the 76ers, it's just, do they have enough, right? Because James Harden is no longer the 30.5 point per game triple-double monster that we've seen from him in the past, nor does he need to be. He actually leads the league in assists. Joel Embiid, on any given night, he can be the best player on the floor, even when he's going up against Giannis Antetokounmpo, even when he's going up against Jason Tatum. But when you look down the roster, where's the rest of that scoring going to come from? Is it going to come from James Harden? Is it going to come from Tyrese Maxey, who has been excellent, but a little bit up and down as of late? And so when you think about Boston and Milwaukee, who I just have the utmost confidence in, it's can they crack it? Can they be, we talk about them in the upper echelon, can they get up there? And I just don't know whether or not they have enough. Richard, I guess we'll keep it moving in the standings. For the Bucks, what's the biggest question for them?
Well, it's the health. I think that's the number one thing. I think even if you look at the people that they brought in, I love the Joe Ingles addition. I love the Jay Crowder addition. They've added depth on the wing in an area in which they needed. When you saw Chris Middleton, last year, you were like, okay, Chris Middleton was injured. That's why we lost to Boston in 7. Well, Boston's better. And then you go this year, and Chris Middleton has been banged up all year long, hasn't played much, so you're like, oh, it's not like they started the season and kept going. And then the last part, when you look at how much more Giannis has had to do over the course of this season, because Drew Holiday has been in and out, because Chris Middleton has missed a substantial amount of time, that's the one thing. If the Bucks are healthy and they are rolling, that to me is going to be very difficult, especially because they added depth in the positions in which they needed it most.
I still like the Bucks a lot. Ramona, how about the reigning Eastern Conference champions?
Well, they've got because the Bucks are so good, they're going to have to play
They're guys more than they probably want to down the stretch to hold on to that 1 seed. Jason Tatum sat out of last night's game. They called it a non-COVID illness. He told me he said he had a really bad stomach bug. He was throwing up in and out of bed the last couple of days. He's going to get some rest here. He didn't even make the flight to Milwaukee. He's going to get some rest here. But one of the big issues for him last year is he ran out of gas in the finals. And he trained really hard in the summer to make sure that he's fresh for the playoffs. But he has to go against his nature because he wants to play every night. And they're going to have to restrain him while they're also in a race for the top seed with the Bucks. So, Zach, when you look at all of those questions that we just posed, the Cavs offense, the Sixers have enough, the Bucks health, Jason Tatum, if he's fresh enough, which one to you is the biggest question mark of all those four?
Oh, it's got to be the Sixers. It's got to be the Sixers because I said it before. They should be insulted by the way we all talk about the Eastern Conference as Boston, Milwaukee, and then a gap between everybody else. They have an MVP candidate in Joel Embiid, a guy who should have made the All-Star team in James Harden. They are not a weak sister. They should be the championship contenders like Boston and Milwaukee, except we know what's happened to James Harden in the very biggest games. Joel Embiid's had some injuries in the playoffs, and he's actually not performed up to his regular season level in some playoff series. Those are the questions that will remain unanswered until they answer them on the biggest stages. And with Harden headed into free agency this summer potentially, the pressure is on to answer them now for Philly.
No, I agree. For me, the biggest question, and I know we were having this conversation off camera before the show, and it was like, the thing about the Cavs is that we're talking about this top four, and Donovan Mitchell has been outstanding this year. They're young core. I think Donovan Mitchell's the oldest one at 26, 27. So they have multiple years to get better. But in none of these series would Donovan Mitchell be the best player on the floor, right? If you're talking about Celtics, you're probably talking about Jason Tatum. If you're talking about the Bucks, you're talking about Giannis. If you're talking about Philly, you're talking about Embiid. So the Cavaliers would enter into any one of these series, even if they're able to win, they would never have the best player. Now, they might have 2, 3, and 4. Right. They might have 2 and 3, but they would not have the best player in the series. And to me, that's tough to win a championship or to get really deep and never have that guy. And now Donovan Mitchell is that guy. I'm going right up on his wall. Donovan, you're that guy. I'm just saying of those guys, you would say that. Well, the MVP candidates right now.
Because at the end of the day, not only do you need usually one superstar to win, but in today's day and age, you need multiple superstars in order to win a championship. Still to come on NBA Today, speaking of superstars, the Warriors, they had another poor defensive performance last night, to say the least. What did you hear what Draymond Green had to say about yet another Warriors loss? Ramona was there. She has the latest one. We have an update on LeBron's status for tonight. And are these next few games, are they must win for the Lakers? Are we already at that point?
Yes.
Dive into the Western Conference playoff picture. And the dunk contest. In years past, it's been one of the greatest sports spectacles we have, but our analysts tell you how they would bring the dunk contest back to its glory days. We'll be right back.
Scott, you know the rules. No shrinking and drinking. And do not get alcohol to the ends. Even if they ask. Not a problem, Hank. Alcohol free. Guys, come on. It's my last one. Never gonna finish it. Your eyes are bigger than your thorax. Good luck.
I've always loved building things. Not just structures and skyscrapers, but teams who make it all possible. After all, we wouldn't be where we are today without them. So we made sure that, like these buildings, their futures may also stand the test of time.
The first time your sales reached 100K was also the first time you hit this note. Save 20% with the lowest transaction fees and keep more of what you make with a partner that always puts you first. GoDaddy, tools and support for every small business first.
This week is your chance to try any Subway footlong for free, like the Subway Series biscuit. Just buy any footlong in the app and get one free. Free Monster, free Boston, and a footlong for free. This guy loves a great offer, so let's see some hustle.
Just a minute. We use my Old Spice body wash.
I'm not letting hotel soap
Even my kid. It's the lavender meant for me. Get that.
Savannah, if you don't get your moisturizing off my body wash.
Now what? You say it when things go wrong. At Prudential, we think you should say it when things go right, too. Like when you score your dream job, sell your business. Or discover she's smart, really smart. Now what? Here's what. You connect with Prudential's rock-solid team, serving over 50 million people with investment, insurance, and retirement know-how. Who's your rock? Visit Prudential.com or speak to an advisor today.
At Papa John's, we start with better, like marinated oven roasted chicken tossed in our new hot lemon pepper sauce kind of better. And now you can find them on the Papa Parents menu. Get 2 or more Papa Parents favorites for just $6.99 each, only from Papa John's.
I like it. But you love it?
Exactly. CarMax wants you to love your car. So take your time, even buy online. And get a 30-day money-back guarantee, whether you rock with your first overall pick or your 7th.
Wait, what's wrong with being the 7th pick?
Nothing, Steph. That's the point.
Come on, man.
Rush to the playoffs. The biggest games on the biggest stage. An outdoor spectacle. The most intense playoffs in sports. Get ready for the rush. That is hockey.
NBA Today is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Kevin Durant to the Suns pairing with Devin Booker, Chris Paul.
This is seismic.
A lot of people are going to make that team the favorite to win it all. Oh, this is going to be such a problem.
You can't guard him one-on-one. The balance of power has shifted him again in the NBA.
Can't explode with people, so I just focus on me.
Well, the Suns, they were in action. Kevin Durant, he gets a little ovation in his first appearance in front of the home crowd. Devin Booker sounded off about it.
He got 2 standing ovations. It's not going to be the last one, so, you know, he deserves that. I'm glad he's here. Hopefully he can call this home one day and, you know, rock out here the rest of the time.
All right, let's get to the game because Kevin Durant wasn't playing in this one, but he was hyped with the result, especially after that connection, Richard.
It's so good to see Book back, see him playing. Look, I know this Phoenix Suns team, and let me speak as a Phoenician. Growing up, watching Dan Marley, watching Kevin Johnson, watching Charles Barkley, Tom Thibodeau, they have a rich basketball history. They have multiple MVPs. So to have Kevin Durant in that building, this group that's on the floor without him gets a jolt of energy because they know what's coming back. So everyone starts teeing up their game.
And by the way, this ain't your daddy's Kings team. Like,
I thought your daddy, your grandfather, your son, we've never
not,
seen a Kings team like this.
This is not a Kings team where it's like, oh yeah, Phoenix is going to walk in and get a win over them. No, this is a legitimate Kings team, and yet Devin Booker is doing that.
Yeah, it's been, like I said, it's impressive to see him out there healthy, especially coming off a hamstring, to see him explosive multiple times. But speaking of explosive, man, De'Aaron Fox is really starting to show people how special he can be, and I still think it's just the beginning for him.
De'Aaron Fox, one of the quickest, most explosive guards in the game today. Chris Paul looking, finds DeAndre Ayton. He gets that one to go off the friendly bounce. Kevin Durant, he loves it.
Yeah, now, look, we're going to talk more about Ayton because I think he's so important, but look at this. You got 2 of the best one-on-one mid-range games that this league has ever seen. It's going to be a problem.
Durant loves the win. Chris Paul to DeAndre Ayton, though, the connection, it was on full display on Tuesday. Paul had 9 of his 19 assists to Ayton, tied for the most in a game to a single player since he joined Phoenix. So, Ramona, I want to start with you here because it feels like teams right now, they're gearing up for what could be a title or bust postseason, particularly for the Phoenix Suns. So when you're looking at Phoenix, who do they need more from ultimately? Is it Chris Paul or is it DeAndre Ayton?
I think it's DeAndre Ayton, and I think
Because Chris Paul, I already think Chris Paul's going to give you a lot because Kevin Durant takes a lot of pressure off Chris Paul offensively. All Chris Paul has to do now is organize that offense, distribute the ball, feed DeAndre Ayton. But DeAndre Ayton is in a position where he was more of a focal point of this offense. He's going to get less touches. You have to get him involved earlier, and that's going to be harder on him because he's had Chris Paul feeding him the ball. Now Kevin Durant's going to be fed the ball. That.
With all due respect to Richard the Phoenician Jefferson, I agree with Ramona here. It's DeAndre Ayton. Look, in Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant, the Phoenix Suns have the greatest collection of pick-and-roll ball handlers on one team in the entire history of the NBA. If Chris Paul's having a down game and if he just wants to spot up, you've got Booker and KD to run the show. They have no replacement. Nobody like DeAndre Ayton in terms of what he can do offensively, as a screen setter, as one of the only defenders in the entire NBA who gives Nikola Jokic any trouble, whether it's Jokic, Sabonis, the size of the Memphis Grizzlies. Somewhere along the line, they're going to face an opponent that requires a big DeAndre Ayton series, and they're going to need him to play big.
Oh, I hate being the only right one on this panel. Actually, I don't, but I think America does when I'm right. How is DeAndre Ayton going to eat? Explain. It's a rhetorical question. How is DeAndre Ayton going to eat? We just saw he had 9 assists from Chris Paul. He needs Chris Paul to do these things. Last season, Chris Paul in game 4 of the Dallas series, Chris Paul goes 2 for 4 for 5 points and fouls out. That's probably not going to be good for DeAndre Ayton. Kevin Durant will be fine. Devin Booker will be fine. In game 5, he goes 7 points, 3 for 8. My point is that if Chris Paul needs to feed DeAndre Ayton, because those two means everyone's going to stay at home. So the only way for DeAndre Ayton to truly eat is that they're not going to throw it into the post 10 times. They're not going to say you have this matchup here, 7 straight touches. No, he's going to eat via Chris Paul's dishes. So if Chris Paul's game ain't on, DeAndre Ayton doesn't have a chance, and that's no disrespect to him. The only thing I'm saying is the chicken or the egg. If DeAndre Ayton's going to play well, I imagine Chris Paul's assists are going to be sky high. If Chris Paul's fouling out, then that means that DeAndre Ayton is going to struggle because Devin Booker and as while they were, and the one more thing I got to say, pick and roll, the greatest pick and roll. I'm not going to lie, James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving, while they were the best hypothetical team we ever saw, I think those three were probably better.
Shit. I'll be up in a couple days. Yeah, what you got planned this week? You just gonna be at the gym and shit?
Yeah, the last 2 days, I can play Saturday.
Saturday afternoon.
We're gonna have plenty more time to talk about Phoenix. Don't you worry. I do want to get to
Alright, bro. Stay in the gym. I know you hate running, but you know what I'm saying? Get as much running as you can.
Scores 30 or more, and
It's all
you can see
good.
the record last night.
Alright, bro. I'll see you in a couple days.
Against the Golden State Warriors, Richard, right across the street from us in Crypto.com Arena. Kawhi, I mean, he kind of goes early. Pull up.
So from 3, it was impressive. That's the part. When he's cooking from 3, I don't want to say it's like LeBron, but when the 3 is working, he is impossible to guard. There is no chance guarding him because he has the strength, because he has the length. You know he's got the mid-range game. But when he's dancing like this and shooting that efficiently from 3, it's a problem. End of the day, the Clippers, the Warriors, none of them played defense. It was the Clippers had more firepower out on the floor to sustain that offense. Because look at this. When he's hitting those 3s, you got to get closer to his body because we're not talking about 1 or 2. We're talking about multiple 3s.
Yeah, he tied a career high with 7 threes.
Yeah.
7 of 9.
7 of 9. That efficiency forces you to get into them, and then you got Powell. You know what Paul George is going to do. They have so much talent on this team. It's just a matter of bringing it all together.
Well, Kawhi hit a game-high 33 points. The Clippers get the win, 134-124. You mentioned their defense. Warriors defense.
Ooh, your Warriors.
My Warriors.
There we go.
It has taken a huge step back from last season. They have the second-best defense on their way to the title, but this year they're allowing almost 8 more points for 100 possessions. They rank 19th in the league in defense. Here's what Draymond Green, he basically said ew after the game.
No, our defense is very good. It's kind of been a story all year, just almost fix it. It has to come from within. Defense is all about a will, a want to defend. Defense is fun, just not a want to do it if you want to win. But we have it. I don't think it's a championship thing. It's a will to want to defend. And you're not hungover at 560 games into the season. You're a loser if you're still hungover at that point. So there's no hangover. It's the will to defend, stop and guard your man and sink when you and help and drop the box and rotate. Defense is all 1 to 2 steps extra. I'm going to take that extra step to get there or not. That's all we do. And we don't have that as a team.
Okay, so you were actually the one who was asking this question to Ramona. What do you make of this? What is the Warriors' biggest?
I didn't need to ask him much, right? I mean, it was like throw the ball because he had a message to deliver to his team, and I couldn't help but think, Draymond put some of it on himself, okay? Of course he says, I'm the leader of this defense, and so if we're not playing at the level, then that's on me, then I have failed. So he said the right thing, but the Warriors' defense at the point of attack is brutal this year. On the perimeter, that's why they went out and got Gary Payton II. He's obviously not back yet, he's not going to be available for a while, but their perimeter defense, and we're talking about some of the same guys they won a championship with last year. Right. Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, Klay Thompson, those guys have, Jonathan Kuminga, they have not been great at the point of attack, and so Draymond Green at one point talked about, you got to trust somebody. If you get beat, you got to trust the rotations behind. I know I trust Kevon Looney. If I get beat, Looney's going to be there. I've heard Draymond give speeches like this before, but you cannot hear anything Draymond says this year without also thinking about what happened at the beginning of this year with Jordan Poole. Can he say and do the same things that he has done publicly and privately throughout the course of this Golden State Warriors run? That's the big question for the Warriors as they go into the last quarter of this season.
Right, and obviously the Warriors, they were shorthanded, no Steph, no Andrew Wiggins, but Zach, what are you diagnosing here?
Yeah, it's the point of attack defense, and it has been all year. That's why they've been toward the bottom of the league in fouling, because you foul when someone above you gets beaten and you got to reach and claw to try to stop a layup. But look, the numbers still say when they have their best defensive players on the floor, that's Draymond, Wiggins, who didn't play last night, and Looney, they're still a very good defensive team. Even some of their core bench lineups have good defensive numbers. And when GP2 gets in here, I'm very curious to see if he can take that Otto Porter spot in the small lineups. He goes Steph, Klay, Payton, Wiggins, Draymond. That has some potential as a Draymond at the 5 lineup. Somewhere in here, there is a better defense than this, and it's kind of baffling that they haven't found it yet and that they can't consistently do anything on the road, because the numbers say when they play their best defenders, they're still pretty solid, but it just hasn't been consistent enough, and it starts, like Ramona said, at the top of the defense.
Now, Ramona brings up a good point. Like, you hope that some of the things that happen at the start of the season, and for me, as a professional that has seen different things happen in locker room, you pray that that's not the case, because to me, as bad as it was, that's a little bit of immaturity for the group. If the group can't get over that, I'm not talking about Jordan Poole, he's allowed to have the feeling. Draymond has been apologetic, but as a group, we have a chance to win a championship, and you're coming off defending championships. Like, that part is very, very difficult. But you saw the draft. They went from the best pick-and-roll team to the worst pick-and-roll team when you talk about percentages and chances and points per pick-and-roll. You can't win like that. And the best thing about the Warriors is no one has to tell them they can't win like that, because they've won championship after championship after championship playing high-level defense with a potent offense that no one had answers for. So their offense is solid, their defense is trash. They know that. Do they have enough time? Even when they talked about last season, they talked about, well, we had a 25-5 start that we could count on mentally, that once we got our guys back, we could do it. They don't have that. They're even trying to go get their old Magic back. Gary Payton, you're hurt, and we're paying you more money than we offered you. It doesn't matter. Come back. We need help. They're on life support. Draymond knows that, the Warriors know it, and everything that you see looks like life support. Not that they're going to be trash or anything, but they're not even remotely close to the quality that they expect and we expect from them.
Right, what makes me concerned is when you look at the bottom of this list and you see the difference between their record at home and the record on the road and the amount of time they have left before the playoffs, even if they are in the playoffs, the play-in, whatever you want to call it, which I expect the Warriors to be, the time that they have to
your home court advantage is going away quickly. Do you really want to face some of these teams on the road? Listen, for me, that's what makes me go, oh no.
Let me say this. If the Warriors were to get into 8, and this is the part where like a Denver fan or a Memphis fan, if they get into 7 or 8,
Yeah, no one wants to face them.
I'm not picking them, but I ain't picking against them.
Look, this was their last game before the break. Draymond Green is smart enough to know, everybody heading out on the break, I have a message for everybody to think about while you're off. Yeah, exactly. Good.
I ain't picking them, but I ain't picking against them. What does the prediction mean by that? Are you going to pick them or not?
Is something that I really
You know, but this is the thing. You know what I'm talking about when I said, I'm not going to pick the Warriors to beat Denver, but I'm not going to bet against them. I'm not going to bet against the four-time champions squad.
We were just praising the Kings and how well they've done, but the Kings don't want to face the Warriors as a low. Right. They don't. I'm not saying that they can't beat them, but you don't want to mess around like that. All right, so to come on NBA Today. Speaking of the playoffs, the Lakers.
Well, why are we doing this?
What's the 4 playing teams in the West? Maybe. Plus, we have an update on LeBron James' potential return to action, maybe even tonight. And we're going to show you the dunk contest participants. They are going to show out on Saturday. But does Richard think that that's the best possible dunk contest selection? Plus, we'll preview a sneakily huge Eastern Conference showdown tonight between the Heat and the Nets. Why you shouldn't sleep on either team. We're going to explain. Stay tuned.
Yeah. You got a grandson now. I can't believe you haven't met him yet.
The beautifully made is out there. Wi-Fi born.
Back for another Philadelphia sandwich?
And a ship tackle box. Let us do the fishing while y'all enjoy seafood they go love. Get them before they're gone.
Eagle has landed. That's one small step for man.
Hey, what's up?
Houston, we have a situation. How did you get here? Your character's in a video game.
Yeah, it's what we do with Xfinity 10G. It's like, who's the best at looking at football.
What the heck is that?
Those are the bad guys.
Are they friendly?
The 10G network, only from Xfinity. One giant leap, mankind. You want me to do a jingle? Oh, it's not a jingle.
One hit for Uber One.
One minute.
One station forever riders.
Okay, Donna.
Your milkshakes cost way less than before this membership.
That's cool. What else you got?
How does the fox say?
Oh, don't do that.
They didn't stop the
Evil one, evil one saves me, way more. Evil one.
That sizzle, that's the soundtrack of Chipotle.
The soundtrack of Chipotle?
Oh yeah. You come in, you're going to be hearing that sizzle. That's how you know we always have fresh food.
Fresh is what you stand for.
Exactly.
All right, bring it in.
Doesn't matter whether you're a player, a fan, a coach.
Or an entire city.
We all have a part to play in this game.
This is your moment to show up, to show out. So come with that hunger.
Bring that fire.
Because now is the time.
The XFL kicks off Saturday on ABC, ESPN, and FX. It continues Sunday on ABC and ESPN.
Not bad. Hard.
Someone's chasing you. No, that's not good. We need to laugh on this.
Sure do.
You keep your family safe from all the things you can see. Spectrum One's advanced Wi-Fi automatically takes care of all the things you can't.
Okay. Ready for the second floor?
Because if it's connected, it's protected. That's state-of-the-art security. That's Spectrum One.
by DraftKings Sportsbook.
LeBron James, along with AD and the additions that they have, what makes you think that they're not better?
Russell finds some room, gets inside. Layup is good and a foul.
Energy, effort, and urgency. That was a huge win, man.
Lillard straight away three, unconscious. 2 runs for the Lakers.
Outside of stealing his sneakers, I don't know what else you can do.
There's a chance the Lakers won't make the playoffs.
What?
They're in 13th place right now. So how high is the climb?
Welcome back to NBA Today, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. We are getting you ready for the Pelicans and the Lakers tonight at 10:30 Eastern, right here on ESPN. And who better to help me set the table than two of our reporters who know the Lakers best, Dave McMenamin and Ramona Shelburne. Dave, I want to start with you here because potentially the biggest question surrounding the Lakers right now is that we haven't seen LeBron James since he broke the scoring record last week. What is his status for tonight?
The word I'm told is hopeful. He went through a extensive workout in Portland the other day, and they really just wanted to see how his body responded to it. They didn't have practice on Tuesday, and it's been 8 days since he last played. Now, he got an MRI in the last week on that left foot of his, and it's clear. You know, there's nothing that came back that was showing any significant damage, but I'm just told it's sore, it's painful. I saw him put it right into an ice bucket after that workout in Portland. But there's many motivating factors to get on the court tonight, get a chance to be in the mix with those new teammates heading into the All-Star break, so they all have something to think about and ruminate on as they come back out of the break with a big task ahead of them.
Right, and speaking of those new teammates, we've now had a week to see D'Angelo Russell fitting in with this new Lakers team, particularly his connection though with Anthony Davis. What have you seen there, Ramona?
Well, this connection with Anthony Davis is absolutely key for the Lakers in the last quarter of this season that they have left, because if he can elevate Anthony Davis, if he can be that second passer to Anthony Davis, but also that they have a really nice game going on. I think Dave reported on some of the conversations they were having during the game. I talked to somebody on the Lakers staff, and he was saying how cerebral D'Angelo was about fitting in with Anthony Davis and where do you want the ball, where do you want to pass it, where do you want me to set the screen. Like, if they can find that connection, and usually that takes a long time. We got to do it on the fly. But if they can build that, that's really important for them going forward.
Yeah, at Chase Center on Saturday night, LeBron, D'Angelo, and AD at halftime grabbed a marker, went on the whiteboard, and was working out plays that they could do together moving forward. I talked to AD in the locker room after Portland. Obviously, they wanted to win that game, and they know all these games count. But there's still a positive vibe here. And AD's concern is, like, we just got to get the win on Wednesday night. Everybody needs that feeling going into the break. And sometimes you need some time away. They're going to be going on vacation. LeBron will be representing, the NBA at All-Star Weekend. They're not going to have a practice until Wednesday out of the break. They haven't had a practice yet with these new guys. They're going to have a walkthrough at the arena tonight. Time is not on their side, but again, the positivity is there, and I think the buy-in is there. And so it's got to they got to do your work early, though, because the later they go and they're dwindling in the standings.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that game is tonight on ESPN. Thank you both. We're talking about they're running out of time, right? Because the Lakers currently sit at 13th in the West. And reminder, they need to get to 10th to make the play-in tournament, but they are running out of time. Only 24 games left. Unfortunately, I feel with Richard for much longer than that. Richard, do you think they can do it? How are you looking at the standings here?
How many years have we talked about the Lakers in the play-in? That's what we're talking about again, the Lakers in the play-in. So look, we're going to start at the standings. And one of the key things about the standings is as we scroll up, bear with me, this is the part that's clear, that's a little dicey for me. Clippers, Mavericks, all of these teams are a losing streak away from falling out. Again, we know about the load management. We know about the new look Mavericks. Yeah, and so it's like an injury, anything like that, any of these teams can fall out. And yes, we're going to have to go a little bit further to get talking about the Lakers, right? Because they're all the way down, but they're still within it. And look, they have LeBron James. They have Anthony Davis. They have a new look. They have a roster that if you had them maybe 20 games ago, to me it'd be no doubt they wouldn't even be in the play, and I think they would be in the 6th spot. But if we're going to talk about scenarios, and we're going to break this down, and we're going to really try and say that the Lakers can get into the play. We're not even talking about the postseason, people. We're talking about the play. Right. The one team that I would look at is, I would say, the Jazz. I think that the Jazz, they probably could fall out. I love the Jazz. They're doing a great job. Shout out my guy, Laurie Markkinen, all-star starter, first one ever from the University of Arizona. Congratulations, my guy. But I just see that. The Trailblazers, very good team, but I'm not sure what they're doing. So, when I look at this roster, the one team that I think could probably drop out is Jazz, and I know I'm going to be in Utah. People don't hate on me.
Yeah.
But I think the Lakers, Warriors, Timberwolves, and Pelicans are probably the most stacked team of that group, and so you look for them to move up. But that's still a far way to go.
Right, and it shows the importance of the game against the Pelicans, who are higher in the standings tonight, and also have a lot of injuries piling up. They've been a little bit shaky as of late. Richard, thank you so much. Still ahead on NBA Today, a starry night in the association. It awaits. With Luka and the Joker both in action, our crew on who will have more eye-popping stat lines. Stay tuned.
The only thing I regret about my life was hiring to do about tough work. I would have hired actually talented people from all over the world instead of talentless people from all over my house.
For the first time in 30 years, Coors Light hasn't had a big hit. Actually, this is a Miller Lite hit.
Miller song. Great taste. Let's go.
Oh, Mr. Rogers.
Coors commercial. Miller commercial.
Red Lobster's finer points of fun dining. There's no wrong way to lobster fest. You can ease in, you can chow down, or you can show off. Choose from 6 delicious dishes, like Lobster Lovers 3. Welcome to fun dining.
With written security cameras, keep an eye on every corner of your home, inside and out.
Hey, Eddie.
Even see what set your alarm off.
Seriously?
Seriously, get smart security everywhere with Ring. Learn more at ring.com. My active psoriatic arthritis can slow me down. Now, Skyrizi helps me get going by treating my skin and joints, allowing significantly clearer skin. Skyrizi helps me move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses. Skyrizi attaches to and reduces a source of excess inflammation that can lead to skin and joint symptoms. With Skyrizi, 90% clearer skin and less joint pain is possible.
Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like the feeling of improving my skin and joints. And that means everything. Now's the time to talk to your doctor about how Skyrizi can help treat your psoriatic arthritis so you can get going. Learn how happy can help you save.
Arby's new Steakhouse Garlic Ribeye Sandwich. Who knew the best thing to come from a steakhouse wouldn't even come from a steakhouse? That's right. Arby's, we have the meat.
The rush to the playoffs. Biggest games, the biggest stage. An outdoor spectacle. The most intense playoffs in sports. Get ready for the rush. That is hockey.
It's early, but the chase for the East is off and running. And there's a new fight for best in the West. Just when you think you've seen it all, you realize you ain't seen nothing yet. Rivalries you never saw coming. New moves that'll break your brain. And what's next? All we know is that it's happening tonight.
This Friday, it's time for adventures return.
You're an adventure. You don't have to roll with the hounds. That's Thor. We get confused a lot. Some of the body types.
Man, let's go! The Wasp.
That's more like it.
Tag. Hello. And I gotta say broccoli.
That's weird.
Man, and the Wasp calls me.
I literally saved the world.
Thank you, Spider-Man. Get tickets now.
This is the last shot to Holiday! Happy Valentine's Day! Step three, clear him away. Makes it in! Damian Lillard from Morocco. He has been unbelievable.
Ooh, wait, El Fuego, Damian Lillard, he has been on a hot streak for a while now. Since December 25th, January 25th, Damon scored over 30 points in all but 2 games. He's averaging over 38 points per game during that span in the best mark in the NBA, which is wildly impressive. So Damon's playing some of the best basketball of his career, but it's not exactly leading to wins all the time. Zach, why is it, please?
Well, the Blazers just aren't that good, and I don't think they projected to be that good coming into the season. But Damian Lillard, people need to realize this. This may be the best season of his career, and that's saying a lot. Career highs in points, field goal percentages, free throws, across the board. This guy is ridiculous. And the Blazers are 2 games under 500. And at the trade deadline, they kind of tried to thread the needle between we're kind of selling and getting some future assets, but we're also getting some interesting young players, so maybe we won't get too much worse this season. Kind of treading water a little bit. And it's just like, if your stated goal is Damian Lillard at age 32 is our foundational superstar, we're trying to maximize his prime. Well, you're 2 games under 500, you're not maximizing it. At what point do you have to do something other than tread water? Maybe that wasn't this deadline, maybe it's this summer, but at some point you got to get more aggressive, find some better veterans around Damian Lillard, because this isn't working right now.
Yeah, Damian Lillard has been absolutely incredible. Some of his support cast, like Anthony Simons, has shown flashes, but now Simons is hurt. And so it's like, okay, what's going to happen now? Some stars, though, that did get some help was tweeted on full display. Luka's Mavs, Nikola Jokic's Nuggets, they go head-to-head tonight. Small sample size, but Richard, the Mavs, they seem to have a little uncertainty late in games here.
Well, I think we've seen a couple of late game situations. One not getting a shot off, one where you saw Luka took a very difficult shot. And I feel like there's a little bit, of confusion. And, it does take time to gel, right? That is 100% without a doubt. But I think the best one was the people right together. It's amazing. But the thing that I think needs to happen, if you go back to the LeBron James, T-Wade time in Miami, if T-Wade goes to LeBron and says, no, bro, this is your team. Yeah. You are that dude. Yeah. We will all fall in line. And there is no disrespect to Kyrie. Obviously, we know who he is, what he did. Luka's their best player. Right. So Luka's their best player. So if you come in that space and say, what can I do? Where do you want me, Luka? You go play your game, and you know you're going to have me as a bailout. Versus us throwing the ball back and forth because we're such elite one-on-one players. But at the end of the day, Luka is the best player on that team. So it's Kyrie's job, it's Jason Kidd's job, it's the organization's job. This is where you're going to be, Luka, and then this is your bailout. This is your person. If they leave you, they're not going to leave Kyrie. Well, I won't say a decoy, because there's going to be sometimes you can give the ball to Kyrie and tell him to go cook, as you saw with LeBron James, as you saw with Kevin Durant. Saying that he's the best player doesn't eliminate Kyrie from doing great things. Right. It just says this is how we're going to play through, and this is how we're going to use you, Kyrie.
Well, we saw them do that in Brooklyn when he went to James Harden and said, I'm the shooting guard, you're the point guard. This is how we're going to do this.
Yeah. You know what's fun about this pairing is, I talked to Nico Harrison, the GM of the Mavericks, months ago, okay? Who do you need to get Luka help, okay? What kind of player would you pair with him? And Luka's comp in the NBA in a lot of ways is LeBron James. He's the closest thing, probably a better shooter than LeBron. LeBron's a better finisher, a better athlete. But you want to pair him with somebody that LeBron would play well with. Who does LeBron play well with? Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, Dwayne Wade. Like, the reason why this works well is because he's already been in a situation like this. He's already played with a player like this. He moves so well off the ball that when you put him in that other role, when you put him in that playmaking role, he doesn't have to have the ball in his hands all the time, like LeBron, like Luka.
Not to mention he's arguably the best, one of the best fourth quarter scorers in the game.
He's the best one this year.
Right, and so when they can't decide like that, I'm like, no, all the tools are there.
There's tools
there, but you're trying to figure out how you're going to gel. Still ahead on our show, the dunk contest. It's Saturday night. So, Richard, is this one you're looking forward to?
No, I will be dunking, but not now.
I read this week, Joy, telling people that Geico's been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the Buffalo one's been around.
Doesn't we?
And did you know that Geico offers motorcycle insurance? The lips are burning.
Now my lips are actually burning.
Geico. Over 85 years of savings and service. See how much you can save at geico.com.
It's too hot. Oh, this is too hot, mate.
Welcome to the next level. This is the Lexus NX with intuitive tech.
Watch for traffic.
And our most advanced safety system ever.
This week is your chance to try any Subway footlong for free. Like the Subway Series menu. Just buy any footlong in the app and get one free. Free monsters, and a footlong for free. This guy loves a free offer. So let's see some hustle.
Over the years, I've seen what loyalty can do for business. These people have helped me build this company from the ground up. And I want them to know how much I value their commitment. So I'm doing what I can to help secure their future. Because true loyalty goes both ways.
Scott, you know the rules. No shrinking and drinking. Obviously.
And do not give alcohol to the ants, even if they ask. Not a problem, Hank. Alcohol free.
Guys, come on. It's my last one.
You're never gonna finish that. Your eyes are bigger than the thorax. Good luck.
Papa John's just took pizza night on its head. This is the new crispy parm pizza, and it puts toasted Parmesan where it's never been before, on the bottom. Introducing the crispy parm pizza, only from Papa John's.
I love your browser history.
You are so generous with your personal data.
Switch on privacy, switch off trackers and viruses. Go to NordVPN.com. NordVPN. Safely be you.
Football thing. One more. Tatum. Launched it on Giannis.
It's what we look forward to that might inspire us the most.
Georgia. The whole
No nonsense for small business means everything you need, nothing you don't. You need speed. Spectrum delivers the fastest internet speeds in the nation. You need to stay connected. They give you Spectrum Business Connect with Ring Central, so you have all your business communications in one single app. You need outstanding value. Get internet at 600 megabits per second for only $49.99 a month, and Spectrum Business Connect for $19.99 a month. Then add a mobile line with unlimited data for free. That's everything you need. Now, what don't you need?
Nonsense.
No contracts, no surprise fees, no added phone taxes. Get 600 meg internet for $49.99, Business Connect for $19.99, and free Spectrum Mobile. And they throw in the no nonsense for free. Call 877-317-9222 and switch to Spectrum Business today.
In 2001, David Robinson of the San Antonio Spurs formed a new team, a group of educators who built and now operate a charter school in the city.
We wanted to provide an opportunity for the local families to get a high-level education for their kids.
Harbor Academy was the first of its kind to serve lower-income families in the San Antonio region.
Robinson.
It's time for Putting in Work, presented by Upwork and Markel Holtz, Bradley Beal, Shaden Sharp. They were all putting in work at the rim last night. This was just one of many posters for Sharp this season.
What a body bag.
Who was originally in the slam dunk contest. You can see Bradley Beal there, but we're talking about Shaden Sharp because he was supposed to be in the slam dunk contest, but recently he pulled out to, quote, focus on the second half of the Trailblazers season.
Because he wasn't in the Rising Stars. I'm with
Which
you.
he should have been.
He should have been. I wasn't in my
But
rookie year.
this is the dunk contest. KJ Martin from the Rockets, who's a really good dunker. Mac McClung from the Sixers. Trey Murphy from the Pelicans. Jericho Sims from the Knicks. Richard, do you remember way back 2003, you competed in the dunk contest. Do you remember who won that year?
Was it either Jay Rich or Desmond?
It was Jay Rich. Yeah,
Desmond, you guys should go check out the Desmond Mason. Desmond Mason?
Yeah. You were maybe thinking about coming back and doing it again.
Oh, no. I will be dunking.
There seems to be an issue now getting star players, and I'm not including you, Richard, when I say star players, to participate in the dunk contest. How
are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
How would you mix the dunk contest?
Are you asking me a question? Oh, first of all, not with you two condiments. That's one. I don't really think there's a way to fix the dunk contest. Every couple of years, you're going to get superstars that want to do it. We beg for Zion. We beg for Ja. We beg for LeBron. But these guys aren't doing it. And then, like, it's past the point for some of them. And so that's where it's a chance for young players to enter into the world of, so people can know them. Mac McClung, dude, has one of the best high school highlights I've ever seen in my life, right? Trey, I'm counting on the young fella. I don't know if he's my pick, but that's my guy. I love him, so I'm going to root for him. That's it. But I think Jericho Sims, the dude that can literally put his chin on the rim, I think he's one of the sneaky favorites.
Okay, there was just a whole lot there. NBA All-Star Weekend, it begins Friday in Salt Lake City with the celebrity game on ESPN. There's a whole lot of folks that we're going to see. 21 Savage, Calvin Johnson, they're just a few of the celebrities that we're going to see for. I'm personally most excited for Janelle Monáe. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific.
I love you, Janelle.
NBA Today will be live from Salt Lake City the next 2 days. We have a couple of celebrity game participants stopping by our show. You can say you love her in person. She's going to be on our show Friday.
Every Friday after school, my dad takes me to Chipotle. He gets a burrito, but I just get a bowl with extra salsa. As soon as I got that salsa, what did I do to it? I don't even like other salsa.
Carl never really thought much of his credit scores until he got Credit Karma and used his scores to score more, like this less humble above. That's what I'm talking about, Carl. Credit Karma. Download the free money app where your hard work pays off.
I didn't use Old Spice. I think I smelled.
You thought no one could tell?
Rest the salted, swagger all night. One last thing, Old Spice. Keep that stand out of sight.
Time for another Planet Fish sandwich?
And a shit tackle box. Man, that's the division. While y'all enjoy seafood, they go love. Get them before they're gone. NBA Today is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA.
It's time for today's DraftKings.
What are you laughing about?
I'm laughing at you. I'm perpetually laughing at you. There are some stars that Steph is asking at playing out west tonight, so let's help make you some money. Are you ready?
I am ready. I've been making people money for a long time.
LeBron James hasn't played in a week. 42 points, rebounds, and assists.
If he plays, I'm going to take the over. 100% taking the over on that. The dude does a little bit of everything. He got 30, what do you have, 38 the last time out? Yeah, I'm going to take the over.
Luka Doncic, he leads the league in scoring over 33 points per game, but what will he do? Will he have more than 48 points, rebounds, and assists tonight against the Nuggets?
I'm actually going to take the under. I'm going to take the under. I think they're still trying to figure things out a little bit in Dallas. I think it might just be a shade under that, but they're also having an okay night.
All right, Nikola Jokic.
Over.
I'm
taking the over. Okay. That's how legit he is. He's got the highest over possible. And we're talking about Luka. We're talking about Bron, the guys that hit every stat. I'm taking the over.
Taking the over every day of the week. DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NBA, and this season, new customers can bet $5 to win $150 in bonus bets through your team's moneyline wins. Use the code NBA today when you sign up. So this is pretty cool. 6-time NBA champion Michael Jordan, he's celebrating his 60th birthday on Friday by making a $10 million donation to Make-A-Wish, the largest donation received from an individual in the organization's 43-year history. And Jordan has said in a news release, for the past 34 years, It's been an honor to partner with Make-A-Wish and help bring a smile and happiness to so many kids. Witnessing their strength and resilience during such a tough time in their lives has truly been an inspiration, which is awesome. This is coming up on ESPN2 next, The King's Quest. Richard, you're not a part of it.
No, I'm not. I said everything I can.
But we're talking about Michael Jordan's birthday. I do want to wish a very happy birthday to Gabby, one of our operators here in studio with us who helped make the show go round. Gabby, happy birthday. We really appreciate all that you do. Richard, ready to go to Salt Lake? Are you a carry-on guy, or are you a
carry-on
like
at all
4 or 5
times.
suitcases?
I wear 9 coats,
all right,
so that I just walk around like this. What?
Keep going. I got a flight.
You gotta say less.
See you guys in Salt Lake City.
Another shirt? No, I'm not gonna do that. Just want
He'll scramble. He's at the 35, but he's ankle tackled there at the 36. And he's hurt. Mahomes is hurt.
I kind of rolled it a little bit. It didn't feel good, but I was going to leave it all out there.
They're going to throw a quick pass to Tony. He's got it on the edge. Touchdown!
I told y'all at the beginning of the week, there's nothing that's going to keep me off that football field.
Don't underestimate how tough Patrick Mahomes is.
Everything we work for is from this moment. You have to enjoy this moment. You can't let the moment overtake you.
The Chiefs Kingdom will raise a banner above the National Football League again.
There's a lot for the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs to celebrate, and today they're doing just that with their fans as they've made their way home for the victory parade. We'll show you the best of that in just a moment. You know we love a good parade here, okay? You see Marcus Spears, Keyshawn Johnson, Adam Schefter here with you for the hour. Let's roll, guys. We start with the parade, okay? It kicks off at noon today. Enormous crowds expected. Look at Andy Reid lead the charge there, Patrick Mahomes going down Grand Boulevard in Kansas City. You knew that Travis Kelce was going to enjoy this one, and let's hear from some of these guys as they celebrate with their fans finally at home in Kansas City.
Not very often are you able to say you're the greatest team in the world and have the greatest players in the world and have the greatest organization in the world and most of all the greatest fans in the world. We love you, man.
AFC West said we were rebuilding. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know what rebuilding means. In our rebuilding year, we're world champs. We're world champs. I just want to let y'all know that this is just the beginning. We ain't done yet. So I'll make sure to hit y'all back next year, and I hope the crowd's the same. Appreciate y'all. Let's go, baby. Let me take you back to 2022 in the month of maybe April. Maybe. Guys were getting signed left and right. The haters were saying that the Chiefs would never make the playoffs. The haters were saying the Chiefs were done. If y'all knew that Patrick Mahomes was going to win the MVP, let me get a hell yeah! There's one thing we got to do, baby. There's one thing we got to do for our right to fight. Okay? Run it back. Run it back. Run it back! Run it back! Travis! Hey, Trail, in this thing, how we supposed? You gotta fight for your right to fight!
You know what? I am going to vote that next season, whoever wins the Super Bowl, we take NFL Live to the parade. Like, Marcus, should we do that? I think we should.
We absolutely should. And I love the fact that Pat Mahomes was a little tipsy when he was making this speech. I'm with it. Ain't no wrong with a little beer, a little yak, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? I could tell by the slur of the words, though, Keith, that my man was lit up about that parade, bro.
You know, they fought for their right to party, and they can be on that yak. Let's talk a little bit more about the Chiefs, guys. They rode their dominant offense to the Super Bowl victory this season. Obviously, the doubters fueled them too, as you heard there. Kansas City's offense led the league in points per game, yards per game, offensive efficiency, and total QBR, and in pass block win rate. They actually became the
first team since the 2009 Saints to lead the league in scoring during the regular season and win the Super Bowl. Marcus, when you think about everything that they did, what has impressed you most about the Chiefs' run this season?
The ability to change who you are from an offensive standpoint and still be able to get it done. Now, I know a lot of that is obviously attributed to Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes being one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen in this league, and Veach, the general manager, still kind of keeping the core of these guys together, the same philosophy, and hitting on a lot of those rookie draft picks. But it was just, they became a more efficient offense, but were better. They didn't have the big play Tyreek Hills. They used a lot of dink and dunk at times. They figured out ways to still be pretty prolific as an offense without having that one player that changes games and flips the field. And obviously Travis Kelce is still there on his way to a gold jacket. I just loved how they had to change their stripes a little bit offensively, made moves during the season like to get Kadarius Toney, who was big for them in the Super Bowl. They have a formula, they understand it, and 15 is the straw that stirs the drink. And I'm feeling like now that the Kansas City Chiefs think that we can put some guys out here that may not be $100 million wide receivers, and we can still get it done. And you know why? Because they just did it.
I think when you look at this team overall, though, and we obviously focus on the offensive side of the ball because the glaring miss on that team was Tyreek Hill. But much like Swaggle just said, they figured out how to get it done. And I don't want to call them pedestrian guys, although Juju's been in the news lately with his back and forward with the guys from Philadelphia. Travis Kelce is key in the passing game in this offense. And then it goes from there with everybody else. If they can somehow figure out, okay, if we lose Juju in free agency, if we lose Mecole Hardman in free agency, there are going to be some guys, and Adam knows this, that'll come on the market between today and in the summer before they go to training camp that they can acquire. And one thing about it is Andy Reid, and I think a lot of people miss this, Andy Reid's tenure, Adam, in Philadelphia as well as in Kansas City. He's only had two dominant wide receivers, right? One in T.O. for 1 year, and then obviously Tyreek Hill. Outside of that, he's been playing with just guys, and he's been able to get it done.
Okay, that's what happens when you have a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, the straw that stirs the drink, as Marcus says. And basically, you're going to be in a situation here where free agents that don't get contracts will want to go to Kansas City. They'll want to play with Patrick Mahomes because that'll be the quickest way to boost their value in 2023. And this is a team over the last 4 years that's remade itself a few different times. It rebuilt the offensive line after they lost the Super Bowl to Tampa Bay. This year it added a whole new secondary. It remade the wide receiver unit without Tyreek Hill. Went out and added Marquez Valdez-Scantling, added Juju Smith-Schuster. It drafted Sky Moore. So it has continued to remake itself, and it will continue to be able to remake itself because it has the quarterback. So when you have the quarterback, you can do a lot of different things, and no matter how you slice it up, no matter where you add and where you subtract, usually it's going to come out ahead, and he's going to make it all look good because he's the best player in football, and he can cover up a lot of inefficiencies.
Yeah, it helps too, even though Patrick Mahomes certainly got paid, he did do it to where it would benefit the team long term. And the Chiefs do have some big decisions to make this offseason regarding some key free agents. Both their starting offensive tackles, Orlando Brown Jr. and Andrew Riley, are set to hit free agency, along with some key weapons in Juju Smith-Schuster, Mecole Hardman, and Jerick McKinnon. So, Marcus, let's start with you here. Which of those guys should be the top priority for Kansas City to bring back?
Listen, I think these tackles, right? Like when we talk about Patrick Mahomes, the premium is to make sure that you got him protected. That's one of the things we came away, not only this Super Bowl, but the season, that these guys did a phenomenal job. We talked so much about the high ankle sprain and his immobility, and we lauded him for being tough and powering through. But the reality is they kept Patrick Mahomes clean against Cincinnati after the ankle injury. They were able to run the football. We talked about Pacheco. We kind of lost sight of this offensive line and how well they played all season long. These two tackles, Wiley and obviously Orlando Brown Jr., need to be premium grade A number one. One, because of rapport, You want to keep this unit together. You want to make sure these guys understand how each other plays, and those guys value the fact that 15 is standing behind him, and they've already shown you that they can protect him even when he's limited physically.
Certainly the offensive line, no question about it, but then you also got to look at the depth on the defensive line, and when you move from the defensive line, the wide receiver position, when you're missing two guys that are guys that are fill-in guys as Juju Smith-Schuster and Mecole Hardman that may hit the free agent market, as I said before, they're going to be casualty guys that have played in this league that will be available, that can still play in the league, but they've got to be able to understand that you may not get the big money that you thought you were going to get on the free agent market, but you certainly will be in line to do something that you may have not done, which is have an opportunity to play in an AFC Championship game, win a Super Bowl. And one of the guys that they should be also targeting, they should be taking a look at Keenan Allen, DeAndre Hopkins, Michael Thomas. Those guys could potentially all be available via trade or because they hit the free agent market.
And again, they'll be in the pattern, they'll be in the habit of waiting and kicking back and seeing who doesn't find a home, who didn't get the value in the contract that they wanted, and they could cherry pick from that point on. But I know you mentioned Patrick Mahomes' contract, and I know it's a long-standing contract, but I will say this, at some point, whether it's this offseason, next offseason, next offseason, that's going to become an issue because we're going to see all these new quarterback deals go out this offseason. Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Jalen Hurts. And once these other quarterback deals start rolling in, we're going to see Patrick Mahomes undervalued. And I don't know when they're going to revisit that, but at some point in time, he's not going to play the life of that contract before that contract is going to have to be addressed again.
Yeah, that was a really good point, Adam. I know. We were thinking about that even yesterday when Field was talking about Jalen Hurts' contract being in that $40 million a year range. We're like, golly, you got to think about Patrick Mahomes certainly in the mix there. Let's get to the Eagles side of things, guys, as we talk about the future for the two teams in the Super Bowl. We saw Philadelphia lose both its offensive and defensive coordinators yesterday to head coaching jobs after losing in the Super Bowl, but it's not just the coaches they may have to replace. Philly has some key free agents too. Bunch of starters set to hit free agency. On offense, some key players such as Jason Kelsey and Miles Sanders. On defense, it's more than half their starters with players like Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, James Bradbury. They also have to plan for the future, as we were just talking about with Jalen Hurts, set to enter the final year of his rookie contract in 2023. Jalen said just yesterday or day before, whenever it was, yeah, I don't want to talk about my contract right now. And then Marcus smartly pointed out that he just wants to talk about his contract, but he's just not going to admit it. So, Adam,
he said you weren't thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly. No, you are thinking about it. All right. Adam, when do the Eagles expect to start working toward that long-term deal with Jalen Hurts?
It would be an upset if that deal did not get done this offseason. And the advantage that the Eagles have enjoyed having Jalen Hurts under a rookie contract, minimum wage rookie contract, is going to go away. And so all those free agents that you see out there are going to be more difficult to afford once Jalen Hurts gets north of $45 million. To me, that's the starting point. And it may not even be close to the ultimate figure of where it ultimately comes in. He's proven himself as a top 5 quarterback in this league. He was just a few plays away from taking this team to its second world title. He's going to get paid, and he's going to get paid royally this offseason, along with the other quarterbacks who are due for a deal. Listen, he bettered himself. He played well. He's proven exactly what he's worth. And now Philadelphia had the window to go out and add some of these pricey free agents to go supplement the roster while Hurts was on that rookie contract. When Jalen Hurts takes the field in 2023, he will not be on that rookie contract anymore. Whether they do that deal before the start of the new league year, right after the draft, before training camp, whatever, that deal is going to get done at some point this offseason because Jalen Hurts cannot afford to take another snap under the last year of his rookie deal.
Look, one of the things that they got to do, and Adam is right, he cannot afford and he will not afford. There's 4 people that's involved in here that are extremely smart in this situation. His dad, his agent, Jalen Hurts, and the Philadelphia Eagles. If you think about it, and Adam knows this, you think about the history of the Philadelphia Eagles and their quarterback, they always take care of their quarterback to get them paid at the market rate. Now, what's his market rate? Is it $45+ million? It probably is, and he'll get it done. He's smart enough to know that he's not going to drag this out. The Philadelphia Eagles organization is smart enough to know they can't drag it out because they have other people that they have to sign. They're going to get this thing done.
Yeah, Nicole Lynn, his agent, by the way. It's going to be fun to see her in the middle of these negotiations.
You played too early, Marcus. You were born too early.
He could have been a great quarterback, too. Swagoo, aside from it...
That's a starting point, though.
Right. Marcus, aside from a potential Hurts deal, what do you see as the most important free agent that Philadelphia needs to bring back?
Yeah, Javon Hargrave on the defensive side of the football. You have to have a premium pass rusher, I think, on the interior to be trying to be a championship team. We see Kansas City. It's no coincidence that Chris Jones is on that team. You look at Aaron Donald from Los Angeles Rams. Hargrave is the rusher in the interior of this pocket that consistently win one-on-ones and can change games. I think when you look at Philadelphia's team, now we're to a point, because of what Shefty and Key just talked about with Jalen Hurts, you have to think about not only these guys' value as individuals, but value as championship pieces. And I think he's a championship piece because of the position that he plays and his effectiveness at getting after the quarterback. There's a difference in letting a really good player walk and a championship piece walk. And I think defensive tackles now are starting to become championship pieces.
Yeah, you can't hold on to all of them, but that's a good point. I do want to say, too, about James Bradbury, who's another notable free agent for the Eagles. People might be talking about him after the holding call in the Super Bowl. Don't forget that he allowed the lowest passer rating in coverage in the NFL this season. They're not going to forget that. He's so good. All right, we got a lot of our coverage away. We're just getting started here on NFL Live, guys. The future of the Cowboys backfield duo is up in the air, but a Dallas legend says keep them. Will all-season moves split up the two stars? Marcus knows which one they should keep. Plus, Todd McShay released his mock draft 2.0, predicting where the biggest players in college football will land. Here with name, we were surprised to see left out of the top 10.
Oh my God. I want my daughter Riley to know about her ancestors and how important it is to know who you are, to know where you came from.
Doesn't it look like your papa?
It's like opening a whole nother world that we did not know existed.
You finally have a face to a name. We're discovering together. It's been an amazing gift.
I remember this week, Joy, telling people that Geico has been offering savings for over 85 years. That's longer than the Buffalo Wing's been around.
Dozen wings.
And did you know that Geico offers motorcycle insurance? My lips are burning. No, my lips are actually burning.
Geico, over 85 years of savings and service. See how much you could save at geico.com.
It's too hot. Oh, this is too hot, mate.
You got a grandson now.
When the beautifully made is out there. Why buy boring?
At Domino's, we took all the best things about pizza and put them on our new crispy loaded tots. Melty cheese, melty cheese. Mouth-watering toppings, mouth-watering toppings. Potato, potato. Try our new crispy loaded tots with your favorite pizza. Only at Domino's.
My active psoriatic arthritis can slow me down. Now, Skyrizi helps me get going by treating my skin and joints. Along with significantly clearer skin, Skyrizi helps me move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses. Skyrizi attaches to and reduces a source of excess inflammation that can lead to skin and joint symptoms. With Skyrizi, 90% clearer skin and less joint pain is possible.
Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like the feeling of improving my skin and joints. And that means everything. Now's the time to talk to your doctor about how Skyrizi can help treat your psoriatic arthritis so you can get going. Learn how AbbVie can help you save. ADT systems now feature Google products like the Nest Cam with Floodlight, with intelligent alerts when a person or familiar face is detected.
Sophie's back here tonight.
So you have a home with no worries. Brought to you by ADT.
When cold symptoms keep you up, try Vicks NyQuil Severe. Just one dose starts to relieve 9 of your worst cold and flu symptoms to help take you from 9 to 9. For max strength nighttime relief, NyQuil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, sore throat, best sleep with a cold medicine.
Is it a sliced ribeye, melty cheese sauce, and fluffy eggs in a warm tortilla kind of day? Or is it a ribeye, melty cheese sauce, and charbroiled Angus beef kind of day? You decide. Bite into the new Philly cheesesteak menu. Download the app and join My Rewards for exclusive offers.
Hi, I'm Ben Stiller. As an actor, my job is to make people believe what they're seeing is real. Wow, that's like really good. Or am I just acting? Taste it for yourself and find out.
Obsession can make an impression. How many seasons? Who?
Patrick Mahomes, you and the Kansas City Chiefs just won the Super Bowl. What are you going to do next?
I'm going to Disneyland.
Hey, more football's coming your way. The XFL season kicks off Saturday. Coverage of the Vegas Vipers and Arlington Renegades begins at 3 Eastern on ABC. There's 3 more games over the weekend, too, on ESPN and FX, with every game available on ESPN+. Don't miss the new XFL. All right, time now to read and react. Let's get to some news. Starting in Arizona, where Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gannon ran into his new quarterback for the first time yesterday.
He's in there? Hey, go. Let's go win. Got it? Got you.
All right, that looks good. Adam, why was Jonathan Gannon the guy Arizona wanted as their next head coach?
Listen, I think he had a relationship with the general manager, Monty Ossenfort. They recognized him as a young, bright mind, wanted to bring him in to revive that organization. I think he's somebody that they waited for. They said they were waiting for the Super Bowl festivities to finish up, and that may have been true, but I think they were also waiting for Jonathan Gannon to come free. He came free Sunday night, and lo and behold, they gave him a 5-year contract on Monday.
It was good to see Kyler walking around in that video. All right, to Minnesota, where the Vikings introduced Brian Flores as their new defensive coordinator earlier today. Icky, what do you think about Flores taking over the defense in Minnesota?
Home run higher for Minnesota and what they're capable of doing on the defensive side of the ball. That division is not as strong as most people think. Will Aaron Rodgers be in the division? Will Justin Fields emerge? We know what the Detroit Lions are doing with Jared Goff, but the defensive side of the ball is what kept Minnesota from being a real dominant football team. They got offense. We've seen Brian Flores in New England. We've seen him in Miami with those defenses. They added something here on a home run shot.
On to Dallas, where Hall of Fame running back Emmitt Smith spoke about what his former team should do with their current backfield. He said, quote, "I'm keeping both. I may franchise tag Tony Pollard. I may go for a contract restructure with Zeke, but I'm keeping both. And the reason why is because they've got to get Pollard back and healthy, and we need Zeke." Marcus, do you agree that the Cowboys should bring both running backs back?
I know they should bring Tony Pollard back, and I know the injury is a concern, but I'm not concerned about it. I think he'll come back. That burst, that explosion, we saw that offense take jumps with Tony Pollard with the ball in his hand. Zeke, if he's willing to take a pay cut or a restructure, and they want to keep him to be that physical red area back, keep him in protection, I'm not mad at it. But I think Tony Pollard should be the priority in that backfield for the Dallas Cowboys. And if you franchise him, you better be careful, because there's going to be some other teams looking for those type of services and that type of playmaker on the open market. Remember, he is not just your normal prototypical running back. He makes plays all over the football field.
And we saw that in their offense. This is something that I want to get everyone's opinion on. This season, the Cowboys' offense far more effective with Tony Pollard on the field compared to Ezekiel Elliott. Dallas's offense averaged over a yard more per play with Pollard on the field. And it didn't matter if it was a rushing or passing situation, as it was still over a yard more regardless of the play designation. To Marcus's point with the versatility, it's worth remembering that Pollard is an unrestricted free agent this offseason. Ezekiel Elliott has no more guaranteed money left on his contract. Adam, what more can you tell us about the Cowboys running back situation?
Well, listen to this. I think it's a situation where everybody saw that the offense seemed to be more explosive with Tony Pollard playing back there. But I don't know that Tony Pollard is the type of back to carry the football and touch it 22, 25 times a game. What's going to happen here is that at the combine, Zeke Elliott's agents have to figure out his value to other teams in what looks like a deep free agent running back class at a time when other teams are not really willing to pay top dollar for running backs. And if he determines that there's not some big money out there with another team, then the best and simplest thing would be to keep Zeke in Dallas on a restructured deal. It would be valuable to the Cowboys. It would be valuable to Zeke Elliott. I think there's incentive for both sides to figure it out. Now, there's a process that they have to go through before they can get there. It's not like Zeke is going to say automatically, I'm back in Dallas. If there's a team out there that's willing to pay him big money, then yeah, you'll go refuse to restructure your contract, you'll be released, you'll sign on somewhere else. But what are the chances that somebody's going to want to pay Zeke what he's been making recently? Probably not very high. And so that leads us back to a situation where I think he and the Cowboys might be most valuable for each other.
Yeah, the Cowboys, Adam, as you know, they tend to like to renegotiate players' contracts that they like, that they want to keep around and help their football team win. So I can see where they would go Zeke Elliott and tell him, hey, let's figure out how to restructure this thing so we can bring you back and you can continue to be part of the family. As long as he recognized that he is not the same running back as he was when they paid him. Paying Tony Pollard is a must. He'll be back healthy. But a 1-2 punch is always what you need in the National Football League. Many running backs that are Zeke types, the frontline guys, when they get released from teams, they typically don't go on to get big money. That's the main reason the team is getting rid of them, because they have no value there for the open market. And so when they allow him to go test the open market, whether he's still on the team, and they tell his agents, go get a feel around, they'll know what the number is. They'll know and be able to make a strategic move at that point in time.
Key, you make a great point with types of backs, and that's why I was so adamant about pointing out what Tony Pollard offers you just beyond getting handoffs out of the backfield. And you're right, like that 1-2 punch in Shefty as well, like trying to carry the load. I think he could, but it's not smart. But let me go to where I want to go. The Dallas Cowboys got to add a weapon on the outside. They got to put somebody opposite of CeeDee Lamb that can try to dictate coverage. I think they should be in the market with trying to figure out how they can get DeAndre Hopkins with the restructuring of some of these contracts. I know Dak and T. Higgins as well is coming up with Cincinnati, who may want to move him if they can't get anything done. But when you look across this league, how Dallas wants to play, they got to figure out who to put opposite of CeeDee Lamb so they can be in high-powered offense. Because once we saw Tony Pollard go out against the San Francisco 49ers, they tried to force-feed CeeDee Lamb the football. And that said a lot to me about how they feel about the rest of the guys when they are in those type of situations. So I'll be interested to see what type of move they try to make to get a receiver opposite of CD.
Yeah, that's going to be something to watch either way. And it felt like, especially with the additions the Eagles made in that division in the NFC East, there's even more pressure on the Cowboys to do something heading into next season. A lot more coming your way here on NFL Live, guys. It's next. Todd McShay joins us to talk his newly released mock draft. It sounds like some teams have big decisions to make.
Just stay put. You trade up. The Alabama guy doesn't look bad, I tell you.
When you live with moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, your day can be full of reminders of your condition. You weren't made for UC or Crohn's, but Entyvio is. In clinical trials, Entyvio helped many people achieve long-term relief and remission. Infusion and serious allergic reactions can happen during or after treatment. Entyvio may increase risk of infection, which can be serious. Although unlikely, a risk of PML, a rare, serious, potentially fatal brain infection, cannot be ruled out. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, experience frequent infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Liver problems can occur. Ask your doctor about Entyvio.
Entyvio, Entyvio, Entyvio.
Weird. Come on. Great. You for real? So maybe just a cable?
We can. Welcome to America's #1 battery destination. AutoZone, your battery solution.
You never know what the weather will bring. New Rain-X water repellency wiper blades apply the magic of Rain-X to your windshield, so water beads up and flies away. The improved water beading technology lasts longer, so you see clearly, season after season. Let the weather drive you inside? Never. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements. Find Rain-X water repellency wiper blades at these retailers.
We're bringing big back. It's bigger, cheesier. The Big New Yorker from Pizza Hut. Big pizza, bigger deal. No hungry? Better be hungry.
It's a little tight in the kitchen.
I could live with it.
You shouldn't live with it. You should love it. I can help. For Redfin Lady, when you search with Redfin, we'll recommend homes you might have missed on your own, and you can tour them today. This just came on the market. Oh, look.
How did we miss this?
Well, you can't search everywhere at once, but we can.
Okay, I can't wink. I tried.
Want to win? Choose Redfin.
Get ready for the best St. Patrick's Day of your life. Meet old friends and new ones. Feast like family. Toast like royalty. Singing like no one's watching. Even louder than our bagpipers. Because Guinness is for the bold. This St. Patrick's Day is for everyone.
Every Sunday you watch us. But just so you know, we see you too.
We see you, moms, looking for a safe place to raise their kids.
We see you, the heroes who've risked their lives to protect ours.
We see you in the hospitals and cancer wards. We see you, because your challenges are our challenges.
The whole world watches us. But now, we're going to see you too.
I made a promise to...
I was born in these mountains. Got my first pair of skis when I was 3. I got faster. Until nobody could catch it. The fastest American ever.
Shop top mattress brands at amazing prices during NFM's President's Day sale. Right now, get a free adjustable base and 2 free memory foam pillows when you purchase a qualifying mattress. Like this Serta Perfect Sleeper Queen mattress that's only $7.99. Our huge in-stock selection has something for everyone, and it's all backed by our comfort and price guarantee. Don't miss out on express next-day delivery. Plus, budget-friendly 50-month financing is available. Big selection, big savings at NFM.
Taco Bueno, the official taco of the Dallas Cowboys, gives you more for your money with the $4.99 taco platter. 2 seasoned ground beef crunchy or soft tacos, Mexican rice, refried beans, sour cream, guac and chips. Taco Bueno, the official taco of the Dallas Cowboys.
So glad you're with us on NFL Live today, and Todd McShay's Mock Draft 2.0 hits ESPN Plus today. He joins us now to give us the latest insight. So Todd, so glad you're with us. We get a lot more of Todd here over the next couple months. Let's start with the top 4 picks, and it looks like you have a trade at number 1, which I love.
I finally talked Kuiper into it about 3 or 4 years ago, and here we are. So I've got Indianapolis moving up to number 1, taking quarterback Bryce Young from Alabama. And listen, Houston could take him. You got Seattle sitting in there at 5, Las Vegas at 7, Carolina at 9. I think there's going to be a big market for that number 1 overall pick. Bryce Young, to me, even though he's only about 195 pounds, he's got that Patrick Mahomes magic to him and poise like very few other quarterbacks I've ever evaluated. Then number 2, Houston Texans, new head coach, just like Indianapolis, same division, new quarterback. I think C.J. Stroud from Ohio State makes a lot of sense here. And Will Levis from Kentucky would be a possibility. But C.J. Stroud, to me, just watching him and studying
the ability to go through his progressions from left to right and make throws on all three levels, I think he has a chance to be a really good starter at the next level. Then we get into defensive starters. Probably the best two players in this class are defensive players. It starts with Will Anderson, the edge rusher from Alabama. 130 pressures over the last 2 years, 54 tackles for loss over the last 2 years. His production went down a little bit this past year, but it's because everyone was so focused on him. He is a special edge rusher. And then finally, Jalen Carter, number 4, Chicago Bears. When he was healthy at the end of the year after his lower leg injury, he was the best defensive player in the country. Dominant, took over games, and it's the fastest way to get to the quarterback. Jalen Carter is going to wind up being a top 5, top 7 pick in this year's class, and he's going to be a special player at the next level.
Yeah, the quarterbacks weren't so good. You probably see him taken a lot higher, Todd. He's unbelievable when he's right. Here's a full look at Todd McShay's mock draft 2.0, which has those 4 quarterbacks coming off the board in the top 9 picks. You heard him talking about Young and Stroud. McShay has the Raiders selecting Will Levis at 7th overall. The Panthers taking Anthony Richardson with the 9th pick. We'll get to that in a minute. A reminder that in the common draft era, there's never been an instance of 4 quarterbacks coming off the board in the top 9 picks, and only once has it happened within the top 10 picks. That was back in 2018, so could see some history made in this draft. We're going to ask you a bunch of questions here, Todd, but I get to go first because I'm the host, so, here I go. What would it take for a team like the Colts, Todd, to entice the Bears to trade that number 1 pick? How much is this going to cost them?
I think it's going to cost them a lot. I think it'll be, obviously, the 4th pick. They have the 35th pick. I said maybe a 4th or 5th round pick this year, and then maybe a 1st or 2nd round pick next year. So it's going to cost a lot, but the bottom line is, if you don't have your guy at quarterback, can you win? And so I would be willing to give it up just to make sure that I got the quarterback that I want. Kuiper wants Will Levis. I like Bryce Young. We'll see, but I would be willing to give it up only to go up and get the quarterback that I believe in.
Yeah, we heard Irsay. He wasn't shy about that. They know they need a quarterback, and they're going to be right up there, but you got to get up high, to your point, at 1. Okay, so I'm also interested in Anthony Richardson, the Florida quarterback. He's going 9th to the Panthers in your mock right now. I think he's going to be one of the most polarizing players in this draft. Some people are going to say, it had nothing to do with that, Swagoo. Some people are going to say, boom for him. Some people are going to say, bust, right? Okay, so what is it about his game that makes him so special that maybe you see somebody move up for him, or do you see him potentially falling down for some people?
Listen, you said it. He's the most polarizing player in this entire draft. He's 6'4", 232 pounds. If you put on his best tape, he's the most exciting player in this draft. I mean, that's how talented he is. He has the arm strength to drive the ball vertically. He has mobility that you dream about now in the NFL, but he's not developed yet. He needs time. So if it's Carolina or any of these other teams that we're talking about that need a quarterback, you better have a plan, and you better have a veteran in place, whether it's Sam Darnold, who showed some flashes late last season, or another guy that they bring in. But ultimately, wherever he goes, I think he's going to need at least 1 year.
Todd, in your mock draft with all these quarterbacks, there's question marks about all of them, right? Whether it's Bryce Young, who's slight and small, who's not that tall, whether it's Richardson you just talked about. You start to look at some of what is C.J. Stroud, not a lot of athletic ability, not a strong arm. And then you get to Will Levis. Why are so many people, high on him? Because I'm not.
I got you. I'm struggling with it, too. And Kuiper and I go back and forth all the time about it. He has the strongest arm of the top 3 quarterbacks, okay? He's mobile. He has character, intangibles, toughness. He had a terrible offensive line this year, a young wide receiving core, a running back who was suspended the first 4 games. So there are a lot of reasons why the production didn't match up with where he potentially will get drafted. But I also see some things, too, in his game. Does he process it as quickly as he should? Eyes dropping inside the pocket. Does he feel where pressure is coming from? And then late game turnovers and critical moments. Those are concerns. I've said this before, and I'll keep saying it. I talked to two GMs in a 5-day span. One said, I'm worried he's going to be Carson Wentz because he plays quarterback like linebacker. The other said, he might be the next Josh Allen because he might be a much better NFL player than college player. So that's kind of the range when you talk to people in the NFL about it.
Wow.
Yeah, Todd, I was gonna say if Will Levis go top 3, he can thank Josh Allen for getting drafted top 3, seeing where he came from his rookie year to where he is now. I'm gonna ask you this, Todd. One player that I'm intrigued about, man, is Bijan Robinson, the running back out of Texas. I think he is a phenomenal player. And I know backs are not gonna be in the top 10, but I think he's a top 10 player when you talk about talent. Talk to me a little bit about Bijan and how he can impact his rookie year in this league, because we saw Brees Hall on his way to potentially being Offensive Player of the Year for the New York Jets this year. You think Bijan can have that type of impact?
Absolutely. He's the best running back that's come out since Saquon Barkley. And if you meet him and you get to know him a little bit, he's that kind of special person too. He just brings a lot of energy to the locker room, and the ability to obviously create missed tackles, but then catch the football and pass protect. I think he's as complete a back as you're going to find coming out. I think he's one of the top 6 or 7 players in this entire draft. I had him dropping to 22 to Baltimore just because teams don't want to draft a running back. But I promise you, I would have him in the top 5. I actually would have him at like 5 or 6 if we were just basic, just stuck to where the prospect ranking is.
Man, what a weapon could be in Baltimore. And Lamar Jackson, if he's still there, and Todd Monken, their new offensive coordinator, I'm like, I want to go be OC there. Ravens. Much more from Todd.
Put it on your mouth.
There we go.
Dallas need a running back. Put it on your mouth.
Well, maybe Bijan Robinson's got a Texas connection. You never know. Much more from Todd at the top of the hour, guys, with his SportsCenter special, Mock Draft 2.0. Don't miss this. It's on ESPN2 at 5 Eastern, and a lot more of Todd on our show. Thank you, Todd. We love having you on NFL Live, and really excited to talk about the draft a lot on this show. Coming up next, Calvin Ridley applying for reinstatement today after being suspended indefinitely almost a year ago. Why he has high hopes for the possible addition to Peterson's offense.
They got the win.
The Chiefs, Super Bowl champions.
Now, get the gear. The Kansas City Chiefs have won the Super Bowl, and you can get your hands on the official trophy collection at NFLshop.com. Including the Super Bowl t-shirt, hat, and celebration towel. They wore it on the field. Now you can wear it everywhere. Shop now and get free shipping at NFLshop.com.
Did you know if you turn a cold with Tide, you can save up to $150 a year on your energy bill? How? The lower the temp, the lower your bill. Tide cleans great and cold and saves money. I am so in. Save $150 when you turn to cold with Tide.
There's a little voice inside us. It says you're done. You're not built for this. You can't go on. But there's another voice. It whispers, then it roars. I'm not done yet. Are you? Degree. It won't let you down.
Living with metastatic breast cancer means I cherish my memories, but I don't just look back on them. I look forward to the chance to make new ones every day with Verzenio.
Verzenio is proven to help you live significantly longer when taken with fulvestrant. Verzenio plus fulvestrant is for HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer that has progressed after hormone therapy. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
I'm making future memories every day with Verzenio.
Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
The pepperoni on Panera's new toasted baguette is sliced a little thicker to hold more flavor. So when fresh mozzarella melts over it, that detail will be big. Try the new toasted baguettes from Panera. $0 delivery fee for a limited time.
We all have something we love. A passion. Could be our job. Travel. Sports. It could be anything. But here's the thing. If you follow it, wherever it takes you, you'll always find what you're looking for.
You need space.
A company vehicle is any car, truck, van, SUV, bus, or fleet vehicle that is used for business purposes. A crash with a company vehicle is not just another car accident. If you were injured in a company vehicle accident, call Thomas J. Henry. Thomas J. Henry handles serious company vehicle accident cases and gets serious results for injured clients. Call today. Thomas J. Henry is available 24/7, nights and weekends.
Out here, you're either lunch or you're enjoying it. The all-powerful Kia SUVs assembled in Georgia. Kia, movement that inspires.
Welcome back to NFL Live. Time now for some top storylines around the league with Adam Schefter. We'll start with the Commanders and their search for an offensive coordinator. What more can you tell us, Adam?
All right, Laura, Eric Bieniemy, the Chiefs' offensive coordinator, is basically going from the parade to Washington to interview for the Commanders' offensive coordinator job. They've already interviewed Greg Roman, the former offensive coordinator of the Baltimore Ravens, but Bieniemy square in play in the mix for the Commanders' job, looking for somebody on an offense that's got a lot of weapons. Some people like that position, believe it or not, and so we'll see if Eric Bieniemy or Greg Roman winds up there. Meanwhile, Thomas Brown, the Rams' assistant coach, is interviewing for the Buccaneers' offensive coordinator job. He's said to have a decent chance. He's the assistant head coach in Los Angeles, tight ends coach, and he could be the guy who succeeds Byron Leftwich in Tampa. We'll see what the Bucs wind up doing at quarterback, but Thomas Brown in the mix for the OC job. And earlier today, Calvin Ridley applied to the NFL for reinstatement after being suspended for 1 full year for being accused of betting on NFL games during 2021. I think most people believe that he'll be reinstated, he'll be back in the league. And let's remember, Jacksonville traded for him before the trade deadline. That would be one more big-time weapon for Trevor Lawrence to go along with Christian Kirk and some of the other offensive talent there in Jacksonville. If he gets reinstated, Jacksonville's offense gets that much better.
Yeah, Adam, he did so well, Trevor Lawrence did, with those new additions, those weapons that you're referring to. You mentioned Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Evan Ingram. They all signed with the team in free agency, set career highs in receiving yards. The Jaguars offense finished the season ranking top 10 in both points and yards. Now, as Adam said, they're expected to add Calvin Ridley to the mix, who is one of just 23 players to record over 200 receptions, 3,000 receiving yards, and 25 receiving touchdowns over the last 5 seasons. You see just on the video right there, the reminder of how good he is. That's with him missing a full season over that span, too. So, Key, I think people might have forgotten what Calvin Ridley is as a player. What would he, in this Jaguars offense, do to help them continue to make big strides?
Well, first of all, he came into the league in 2018, and each year he got better, and in 2020 was his best year. He counted for about 90 catches, about 1,400 yards, about 16 yards a catch, 9 touchdowns or so. In 2021, obviously, the suspension was costly. But he's going to bring some explosiveness to this offense that they already have. He's going to be able to stop on a dime and give some change. He's a significant route runner. He is a hands catcher, not a body snatcher. He's the type of guy that you want. He understands the route concepts. He understands how to play football at a high level. they certainly got a gem when they got Calvin Ridley. The NFL, in my opinion, didn't do the Atlanta Falcons any justice when they suspended him. And I know for a fact that he had some issues off the field and he wanted to get away from Atlanta and get to a new place, and he found a new home in Jacksonville. Imagine that, though. You basically land in the laps of a quarterback that everybody has high praise on in Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, this is a one. This gives Jacksonville a #1 wide receiver. That's where his trajectory was, and that's what everybody was saying of who he was going to be in Atlanta. But this gives them a one, and I think it pushes Christian Kirk back into that slot position where he can dominate games, even though he had a really good year coming off, and he's paid as the #1 wide receiver on this Jacksonville team. I would feel more comfortable with Calvin Ridley being that guy. You look at Zay Jones. Not only do you add speed, but I think you add a guy, and he can speak to this as well as anyone, when he talked about in and out of break stopping on a dime. You got a guy that's going to beat man coverage consistent. That's usually what you attach to a #1 wide receiver. This is a phenomenal pickup for the Jacksonville Jaguars, who went to the playoffs and did enough to almost get back against the Kansas City Chiefs in that game.
Yeah, it's a good point. Guys, you know, the other thing I want to point out here, you think about a player like Calvin Ridley, who's been through what he's been through and been suspended by the league. He's going to an environment where Doug Peterson's wrapped his arms around these young men and these men and said, I'm going to treat you like human beings, which we saw that play out in a big way with the way they were able to bounce back this year as opposed to the previous season. So I think the environment helps him a ton. We get a lot more coming your way here on NFL Live. The Raiders released quarterback Derek Carr yesterday. So who might we see under center for Las Vegas next season? It's not Tom Brady. He's retired. Our analysts have some ideas. That's next.
We were blown away. Legacy is really, really big at Howard University. So it's really a special moment to know that I had a family member who, over 100 years prior, had walked these grounds.
The Eagle has landed. That's one small step for man.
Hey, what's up?
Houston, we have a situation. How did you get here?
Your character's in our video game.
Video game?
Yeah, that's what we do with Xfinity 10G. Like, you know, the best network imaginable.
What the heck is that?
Those are the bad guys.
Are they friendly?
The 10G network, only from Xfinity. One giant leap for mankind.
They told us to follow our dreams, then said they were unrealistic, because passions don't pay bills. But what they didn't know is that dreamers make their own victory.
At Domino's, we took all the best things about pizza and put them on our new crispy loaded tots. Melty cheese, melty cheese. Mouth-watering toppings, mouth-watering toppings. Potato, potato. Try our new crispy loaded tots with your favorite pizza. Only at Domino's.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico could help you save on homeowners insurance.
Nice tip. I'll give you $2 for the chair.
2? That's a Victorian antique.
All right. How much for the recliner, then?
Wait. How did that get out here? That is definitely not for sale.
Is this a yard sale?
If it's in the yard, then it's for sale.
Here we go.
Geico. It's easy to switch and save on homeowners and renters insurance.
You've read the books. You've loved the movies. Now, put yourself in the center of the magic. Relive the magic and fantasy of the world created in the Harry Potter books as you explore his world, but in a brand new story. The magical event of a generation is finally here. Rated T for Teen.
ADT systems now feature Google products like the Nest Cam with floodlight, with intelligent alerts when a person or familiar face is detected.
Sam, Sophie's not here tonight.
So you have a home with no worries. Brought to you by ADT.
When a cold comes on strong, knock it out with Big Stay Severe. Just one dose starts to relieve 9 of your worst cold and flu symptoms to help take you from 9 to none. Power through with Big Stay Severe, the daytime coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, 9 to none medicine.
I need to try it first.
Is it a sliced ribeye, melty cheese sauce, and fluffy eggs in a warm tortilla kind of day? Or is it a ribeye, melty cheese sauce, and charbroiled Angus beef kind of day? You decide. Bite into the new Philly cheesesteak menu. Download the app and join My Rewards for exclusive offers.
So, how's it going? Oh, with interest rates up, I've been looking to get a better savings account, but all the options have you up in the air. Well, yes. You know, at NerdWallet, we can help you make the smartest decision by comparing rates of top high-yield savings accounts. Oh, amazing. It's the smartest way to get the most out of your savings. Well, in that case, I'll have another coffee.
Oats, almonds, regular?
Oh. Did you get it? It's because earlier she was up in the air and now she's down.
Okay.
I thought it was good.
NerdWallet, the smartest decision for all your financial decisions.
Now, end zone, touchdown! Lost it! To the line, it's a touchdown! Wilson hooking it up to Miles. Tatum step back three.
Back here on NFL Live, so the news of yesterday, the Raiders officially releasing Derek Carr, making him immediately available for teams who need a quarterback. That's one piece of the equation, but the other side is the Raiders, who now need a quarterback. Who will it be? Well, they certainly have some offensive weapons to build around, and the Silver and Black, currently slated to have the league's third most cap space, they currently hold the 7th overall pick in the draft. And they only have one quarterback under contract, and Chase Garbers. They're in need of help on defense, too. They finished last season ranking 30th in defensive efficiency. Adam, we start with you. What is the latest on the Raiders and their plans for the upcoming offseason?
Well, the biggest question will be what this team does at quarterback. Tom Brady retired, so there went the end of the Las Vegas speculation. Now, there's speculation about whether Aaron Rodgers plays. Could he wind up in Las Vegas? Don't forget, Jimmy Garoppolo, who worked with Josh McDaniels in New England, is going to be an unrestricted free agent who's not returning to San Francisco. You'd have to figure that Las Vegas would be on his list of potential destinations. And they also have Jared Stidham on the roster. But quarterback is the biggest issue. And then there's the question of running back, Josh Jacobs. Ruby's a warrior this offseason, this past season. They want to keep him. He wants to be there. He bought a house. So I would think that they try to sign him to a long-term deal. And if they can't get a long-term deal done, then they could always use the franchise tag on him to make sure he doesn't leave Las Vegas.
Shefty, you made the point about Jimmy Garoppolo, and I'm going to focus on Aaron Rodgers being that domino, especially with the Jets and the Las Vegas Raiders, two teams that have been linked to him, and obviously Devontae being in Las Vegas, everybody is excited about the notion of that potentially becoming a thing again. But I think Jimmy Garoppolo is a home run for Josh McDaniels because, one, you still pick high. Jimmy Garoppolo has shown you he can handle the young quarterback with grace and not getting disgruntled. I think Jimmy Garoppolo has a good understanding of who he is in this league, and he also plays really well through spurts during the season. So it's not like you'd be just chalking the season up saying you can't win games. But we saw the disconnect between Josh McDaniels and Derek Carr last year. To bring somebody in that knows Josh's system, a guy that's been on winning football teams, we've seen him play at high level, especially with the type of talent that they have on the outside, and Waller again at tight end, Josh Jacobs in the backfield. I think Jimmy Garoppolo should be somebody Las Vegas really has their eye on, even if it's just a holdover until you can get a young quarterback room that can take over this franchise.
It makes all the sense in the world to look at Jimmy Garoppolo because they certainly need a quarterback. I wouldn't give up my seventh pick in the draft to go get Aaron Rodgers. That makes zero sense because this team is not going anywhere at all. They need to address the defensive side of the ball. They need to fix that in a hurry because when you look at this team, if they go get a star like an Aaron Rodgers or they go draft a guy with the 7th pick in the NFL in the draft, they got to play against the Chargers. We know what the Chargers could be. They got the Kansas City Chiefs. We saw Kansas City just win the Super Bowl. And Sean Payton is now trolling within the division. The Raiders are the last team in the division with nowhere else to go. Just take your time. Give it a year or two.